Initial jobless claims data just coming through from last week on a week-over-week basis, 220,000 versus 222,000 estimated there, so a little bit lower than expected on the weekly jobless claims. 219,000 was expected, or was last week, I should say. So still more than last week, but less than expected overall. Continuing claims, 1.86 million versus 1.9 million expected on the ongoing continuing claims there for the jobless data. We also got that Challenger job cuts number for November, going back to 7:30 this morning, 45,500 there versus 36,800 expected. So a little bit more than expected. So back and forth as far as jobs data is concerned. The past 2 days, we've got jobs data in the form of the ADP number yesterday and JOLTS the day before that came out, both bigger than expected or more than expected, indicating that we are still seeing a little bit of a downtick as far as the overall employment market is concerned. The big one coming up tomorrow morning at this time. Make sure you're with us at 8:30. We'll bring you that non-farm payrolls number. The main event of the week as far as the economic calendar is concerned. I was just noting this morning, in fact, I was reading a little bit about next week. Huge week to come. We get the Fed next week. We also get a CPI print next week, so a lot to look at. Interesting earnings moves to talk about this morning. GME, C3, AI. We'll get to both. AMD moving around here, both Meta and Microsoft. Maybe going to switch over to AMD AI chips coming up. It's Wednesday, December 7th, 2023. Tradertv.live starts now. Also Thursday, obviously, but it feels like Wednesday still. Yeah, overall, the market, I mean, it didn't really react to those data points. A little bit of a downtick overall, but we're still in positive territory, so hanging out. There's AI under a ton of pressure this morning, 10%, right back to recent lows. Anyways, we're still within the range on the daily chart. But yeah, not a good report for C3 AI. A lot of people still wondering what they actually do as far as the business is concerned. We'll talk about that report. We'll talk about GME coming up here, but all quiet essentially ahead of the big non-farm payrolls print coming up tomorrow morning. And then, as I was mentioning, next week going to be monster as well. Tuesday we get CPI. Tuesday the Fed starts their two-day meeting, and then Wednesday, obviously, the interest rate decision to come. Yeah, and viewers will recall the bull run that we've been on started last month from a very positive CPI print that really helped propel the November to remember that we've all been talking about. Let's see how the CPI for December does, whether we get that nice sustained Santa Claus rally. But lots to talk about today, Brendo. Chief among them, the Gemini release from Google. Yeah, I was even noting, Neil and I were talking about it a little bit this morning, just on some of the apps, like in the Google Docs, things like that, there's more features now. Suggested templates pop up if you open a Google Docs app. Before you even start writing. So yeah, good look for Google, AMD, moving around here on some AI news. This one downside in a big way, as I said, 10%. C3, speaking of AI, it's going to be a bit of a theme. Happy Thursday, guys.
Yes, sir. And it's been already a good morning. we're kind of joking around because Streamlabs is absolutely loving it and giving away the points. But I want to shout out, you found the best and free trading show. There was a bit of a discussion this morning in the chat. Like, we're absolutely free here. If you ever get asked for anything to watch the stream, it doesn't make any sense. We're free on YouTube. That's how it is. If you want to become a member, you can go ahead. If you want to do a super chat, you're always welcome to do it. But everything here is all about free. And I'm going to try my best to put a happy face on. I'm happy that Google's up. I'm happy that AMD is up. I'm happy that the market is looking good. I'm not happy that Juan Soto is going to the Toronto Blue Jays. And I don't know, he's going to the Yankees. And I don't know why I'm surprised, because Toronto is always the team that is the other team that bids up the price so that somebody else can get the big superstar. So hopefully we can still get Shohei Ohtani. It would be exciting, but at least the market is looking pretty good today. I'm very happy about where Google is. Anytime a big stock holds that 50-period moving average, it's going to get me excited, which is exactly what Google is trying to do now. There we go.
That's the bankruptcy.
Say what in the who now?
That's nice. Hey, what's up, guys? I am sponsored literally by TraderView TikTok there. No, I was just going to say, someone there in the chat, Richard, talking about, was I contacting him about crypto? The answer, of course, is no. So if you're going to hear anything from Neil, myself, any member here, we don't, there's so many fake accounts. I think there's like, honestly, probably 50 or so Instagram fake accounts, and Twitter's a little bit better about all that, but yeah, definitely do not send any money anywhere. The only thing we have to do is a $5 sponsor if you want to help sponsor the show, but it's a completely free program. Look,
all those go, the memberships, all of that goes to buy me apple fritters. So
yes,
just so you guys know.
What they do, then someone owes me $1 then, or $1.50 then, because I didn't.
Obviously joking.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, so okay. Anyways, yeah, no, the Angels have entered the bidding now for Ohtani, so that's not good for us either. All right, someone asked about Apple. We'll talk about all these names, but anyway, it's going to be a good day here. Get that jobs number, more numbers coming through over and over. I see some numbers here from WeBuy coming through as well. Yo, it's Raheem is in the building, making us all look like we don't know how to dress. So, all right, yeah, it's gonna be another good one. Actually, we talked about some marijuana names as of recent with Raheem, and they've been sort of bumping up a little bit as well. So, yeah, get ready. It's Raheem Alani from OCI coming up very, very soon. Yeah, good day. The NASDAQ's up. I'm feeling a little bullish. We got Gemini, we got AMD, we've got everything popping off. So, yeah, excited for today, and yeah, getting ready for what should be, I think, an exciting Thursday. We'll see if it can hold out. Yesterday was kind of boring at moments, but then it had its moments.
Definitely had its moments.
Yeah, and then Bitcoin. Unfortunately, it's back down to 43.3 right now, so it is taking a little bit of a breather on what's been a pretty epic run there for BTC. So, all right, let's go back over to the desk and see what. Are we ready to go back over the desk?
Are we? Maybe not. Oh, you should. Fabian, you gotta make that switch. You've got to cut it when Ramin's in the shot. Everybody wanted to see that.
Is Ramin going to ring that? Maybe she's going to ring the bell.
Well, I don't know. Something's going on at the desk, and Ramin is fixing something to get everything set up. And
she's giving Brendan a new haircut because he didn't get one yet today. So.
You had her.
I don't even know what she's doing.
Chaotic.
Yeah, things are a mess. Let's talk about Rivian here, because as much as there are a few things downside this morning, GME, AI, those type of things, Rivian, I mean, coming off a huge day yesterday, another 4% here on an upgrade this morning. This thing just continues to march higher, trying to hold above 19. 19 ended up being a bit of a problem about midday yesterday.
Yeah, Stifle upgrading 23. It's been a good look for Rivian as of late, Brendo. Let's see how they're able to expand the new platform we've been talking about and the cheaper models that are supposed to be in the works. We know that they raised cash, about $1.5 billion about a month ago. People were worried that they didn't have enough money to fund operations because they had raised money already in March, but it's been a decent look here, up 4.13% this morning.
Yeah, $23 price target from Stifle. Obviously, we're above that, but time will tell as far as this thing is concerned. Yeah, we got those comments from the CFO going back a couple days ago. They were talking about smaller, lighter, cheaper battery packs to come as well in the new year. The CEO then, going back a month or so ago, was saying we're going to see a preview of the R2 platform, which is going to be their smaller, more affordable platform coming up beginning of next year as well. So, yeah, I mean, it looks good.
The question, though, for you is R1T or Cybertruck, Brendo?
Oh, man. you got to put me on the spot. I got to go with the R1T.
Yeah,
I really have to.
It's more normal.
I have to. Yeah. It's more normal. But, I mean, some of these videos that are coming out are, that thing's impressive. The Cybertruck is pretty impressive. These two guys are
talking to Raheem.
Hanging out with Raheem over at the desk over there. But, guys, all right. No hurry.
Well, actually, we were chilling with Raheem, but I know you were talking EVs.
Can we?
It's fine. Raheem, it's fine. Everybody knows you're here already. Like, there's no point. Like, we know you're here.
I don't know. Sharif's cracking up over there like something funny happened.
I don't see what the... I'm laughing because Sharif's laughing.
Man, what did I do?
But back to it. Nicola, before we go to Rivian, Nicola with an offering, because why would Nicola actually need to raise money? So they're going to open down, I mean, like 18 or 19%. It was a bit of a flat bottom break here at 80. It's trying to rebound, so it's already gapped up a little bit higher. This stock has failed $1, so you know where my head's going to be at. I'm going to be looking for something to fade on Nikola. Obviously, 80 cents is a key level. 90 is this previous, well, 92 is this previous level here. I'll be looking to fade something around there. If it fails 80 at the open, maybe I short that, but looking for that 92. Rivian, which is what we're supposed to be talking about, I still think it's in the midst of a breakout. You finally closed above the 50 and the 200 period moving averages. So we got that, and then you got the continuation yesterday. So the last time it did this, it consolidated and failed, but I mean, I feel a little bit better about it this time. I'm gonna be looking for longs. I want it to be holding this 19 level. It's got room to $20. So, this is a nice, it's a nice smiley face, actually. Now that I'm looking at this daily chart, it's got the nice little smiley face. Now you're breaking it back out. Nikola's doing the other thing, and I'm reminding myself right now that after I finish this sentence, I have to go pay for locates. On Nikola, not Rivian.
Yeah, Rivian right here. I was just writing it down. I'm trying to fix up the sticky note a little bit here. Look at this $20 level on Rivian. It looks pretty cash money to me. So we are going to break that today, I would think, honestly. I don't see any reason for this thing to stop. We get an upgrade from Stifle there. Like I said, there's going to be a couple winners here, and it looks like Rivian with the trucks and with their ideas might be one of those. So again, we'll wait for some dip buy opportunities, but I feel like at least for, where's that? That's 21. I don't know, man. Like I was going to say a break of 20. What is that? That's 20 and a quarter. I don't know. I feel like you are going to break $20 here today, and maybe you just smash it with a lot of shares and try to take 10 or 15 cents. I know it doesn't sound like that much, but in our business, it's okay. Or 20, maybe 25 cents. Anyways, if you break 20, you have 20.35 or so to deal with. And I think that's like the bottom there and a little bit of a top there. So I feel like it's a very interesting name. And, just because I just want to show everybody yesterday, because a lot of traders will get FOMO, right? Like there's the move that you miss all the way up. And then you start to say like, all right, at what point is it going to pull back in? Well, you got to wait for those exhaustion moments, right? I mean, it's a huge move up. Look at this huge candle, huge volume there, spiking this up into 1940. Then you get some consolidation, then the move down, right? I look at a name like Affirm yesterday, and we lost on it. Well, we made on it early because we were right with this move down, but then it started taking off, and then like it doesn't stop until you get some kind of consolidation. Now it goes a little bit more. It goes about 50 cents more or so, but it's like I shouldn't have lost money shorting it in here when there was really no consolidation. So there it is right there on Affirm, and then there's the move back down. This could have consolidated up, actually. So this actually looks like it should have broken up. But then again, we've seen where Affirm's come from, and I hate this stock for the long term. So this is a nice downside move and probably continues. So I would say we're going to look for something very, very similar there on Rivian again today. If it consolidates up like it did yesterday right there, then you could start to get the fade backed out. But today, great news. I think it hits 20, then you could see this move back in. So I love Rivian. It's going to be on the sticky note for a long break of 20, not a short. So I think this name could be up 10+% today. Let's see if it gets going right now. And then of course, NEO was a fantastic trade yesterday, breaking a consolidated 780 spot as well. But then it couldn't get going through 8 1/4. So again, the same kind of thing, right? Why would you short it when you're starting to bump up like this? I could start to see, maybe in here you're consolidating, maybe a little bit in there, but this stock yesterday just kind of made that V-shaped move back in. So I'd actually look for a fade now through 775 on NEO. This one could be a short here today.
All right, Rahim Alani, Managing Director of OCI Group's back with us again. Good to see you.
Likewise.
Welcome back. We're going to touch on some crypto action. We were just chatting here before we came on, talking a little bit about the landscape overall has definitely changed, as we all are well aware, pre-COVID 2020 through to where we are today. Toronto at one point was a very much up-and-coming city when it comes to Web3, if you want to call it that, and all different applications around crypto in general. But times have changed. A lot of the talk around some of these companies has shifted. A lot of the new businesses that were popping up no longer here anymore.
Yeah, no, I think it's true, and I think that speaks to a lot of the segments that are kind of those newer ones in the world. If you look back as far back as cannabis, and even before that, right? If you want to go to Web 2, when I was a banker, 15, 20 years ago at another firm, we were the #1 firm doing Web 2 deals.
Right.
And then, cannabis and all these things. So we are a great market here in Canada for nurturing these small companies and getting them onto fruition. There is also an issue because you have a lot of companies that do come to the public markets early, and that's why Canada is a conducive market for that. Issue becomes, though, some of these companies don't really have the bandwidth or the necessary tools to stay as a public company and grow and develop. And so what happens is some of these ones lop off and fall off, or they'll merge, or they'll roll into other things. And so at the end of the day, much like you've seen in cannabis or in the mushroom space, and now in the Web3/blockchain space, you will still see a certain number of companies that achieve that proper public company status. But a lot of those smaller companies become almost the fodder for what happens, right? And so the small cap ecosystem lends itself to that. You're not going to get a 2 or 3. You're not investing in a small cap deal because you think it's going to go up 2 or 3%. You're investing into it because you believe it's going to go up 200 or 300%, and those are your lottery tickets. That some of these small ones that we talk about are those lottery ticket plays. And at the end of the day, some of these bigger ones do develop.
And then, you throw in a pandemic in the middle of that obviously no one saw coming. That's a bit of a problem. That being said, there's obviously a lot of tension, a lot of excitement in this world right now. But maybe from a higher standpoint, we have gold at all-time highs. We have a lot of things happening that can support the argument of where is there actually a place to put some money right now.
Yeah, no, and as we were talking off camera, there's a politician that's talking about why crypto's not great, and Jamie Dimon's telling you why crypto's not great. So, at the end of the day, it just comes down to your personal thesis, right? Like, I'm personally not a big Bitcoin crypto investor. Like I've said, I have invested into companies that are in that ecosystem, but not necessarily into the commodities themselves, because I'm an older person that believes that gold and oil and all those things hold, and thus I invest into those types of commodities. But you're seeing crypto touch, year-and-a-half highs that it hasn't touched. And you look at the guy that bought his first pizza with a Bitcoin,
We were talking about
long
that
ago, right? So at the end of the day, these things start to, like I said, find their levels. We are a little surprised that gold stocks haven't reacted to the price in gold increase, which is quite surprising. Oil stocks are correlating very much to where oil is currently as well. So there might be an opportunity if you are an oil bug. We are surprised with gold, but I think these crypto companies, you're seeing, take any handful of companies, all of them are probably up 10, 15, 20, 25% in the last couple of days, just on the back of what's happening.
Huge move for Bitcoin itself. We'll touch on the ETFs here coming up. Obviously, a lot of chatter around the ETF space in the US and what is to come as far as that is concerned, but few individual names. You were telling me a little bit about Abu Dhabi and how that has become a bit of a hub and is developing as far as that market is concerned. A listing just coming up this week with an IPO, PHX over there.
Right. So the Middle East, there are a lot of people obviously in the crypto world that have made their way into the Middle East for a variety of reasons. This is the first listing that's taken place in the Middle East. So it's on the Abu Dhabi exchange. Phoenix, they raised $368 million. They went public a couple of days ago at 1.5 dirhams. And they went up about 50% on their first intraday trading. They ended up somewhere around 30%, 35% at about 2 dirhams after the first 2 days of trading. So we've seen a really good run, $368 million. They did their IPO in November. They were 33 times oversubscribed.
Is there, not to put you on the spot, but is there more to come potentially, even in a market like this one for Canada?
In terms of Canada or in terms of?
Like IPOs, like anything, in the pipeline?
It's tough to say because, again, the ones that were able to weather, whether it's COVID, whether it's a financing, all those things that they needed to get through over the course of the last 2.5 years. I don't know if Canada is going to be the place for that. I think we're going to see more action because if you were able to survive all those things and raise enough money to continue to grow, again, we are a great small cap marketplace. I think the larger caps that we will start to see will start to be on places like the NASDAQ and potentially London and places like that.
All right, a few names that we've talked about, touched on a number of times on this show. Hut 8, one of those, with some news lately, back downside yesterday here in Toronto. But tell us about Hut.
Yeah, they just completed a merger with US Data Mining, which is known as US Bitcoin. This allows HUT to now list onto the NASDAQ. So they listed on the NASDAQ 3 days ago as part of this merger with US Data. So they traded, they're generally around 600,000 shares a day. They traded around 1.8 million shares just yesterday. Market cap of about $3 billion now. So it's a nice looking chart for the last few days. And it's going to allow some of the US investors that don't necessarily play Canadian names to get involved. So I think HUT has been a name, like we talked about, one of those names that has weathered the last few years, made it through, and now they're sitting at $13.75.
Yeah.
In the past year, have traded between $5.50 and $30. So it's a nice big delta there, depending on when you got in, and a good intraday trade.
All right, Galaxy, GLXY, TSX. Is there? I feel like there's an OTC listing on that.
I believe there is.
Yeah.
Because the guy's from New York.
I'll look it
so
up.
Should be. Yeah, they just announced their AUM numbers. So $4.5 billion AUM. At Galaxy, up 16%, a $95 million loss for the quarter. But they did issue a normal course issuer bid a little while ago. So like I said, if you love yourself, you buy yourself. So they have been in the midst of that, trading just shy of $10 and have gone between $3.30 and $10.60 for the year. So again, depending on where you fall on your thesis with respect to crypto, that's one of those names that has moved very significantly with crypto.
All right, as we mentioned, there's a ton of talk in the US about this ETF, Bitcoin ETF to come. Who is going to get it first? What is it going to be?
Yeah.
How is it going to be structured? Things of that nature. I think in the end, there'll probably be many. Once the smoke clears. But this one, BTCC, I mean, there's two different ones, BTCC and then BTCC.B, both in Toronto. I mean, this goes back to, when did these actually come to market? I guess it was back in 2019, I want to say.
It was
2018, 2019?
2018, 2019, yeah.
Yeah, so
a few years.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
What are the differences here as far as what people need to know, when it comes to what might come in the US versus something like this?
That's a great question. Where Canada falls in the ecosystem, again, we can be a little earlier because our regulations allow for these things. The US is now 4 years, almost 5 years later, looking at some of these ETFs. So it'll be interesting to see where the US ends up squaring out on this. And like you said, it's probably going to be a number of ETFs that come, and some of the better ones will kind of come to the top. So the Purpose guys, they've always been a little bit more front leading. And so they've created these ETFs, and they have a great place to look and invest if you do believe in Bitcoin, and they have an Ether one as well. Yeah. So depending on where you suss out on that, if you want to invest, that's a good way to look at doing it. There are other ETFs and other ways of doing things as well, but the Purpose guys have these ones focused specifically on that. So if you are a crypto bug and you don't want to actually go and buy the currency, this is a different way to look at it for sure.
Yeah, I was even reading there's a dividend-paying Bitcoin, Purpose Bitcoin ETF as well. So, different products obviously than what is going to come or potentially what is going to come in the US, but all relevant when we're having this conversation. Great stuff. More to come. I mean, it's been an exciting couple of months. This thing alone, $5 to $8.50 in a matter of a month and a half, kind of thing for BTC.
So it makes the small cap world fun.
Yeah, great stuff. Rahim Alani, Managing Director of OCI Groups in Toronto. Great to see you.
And Sharif, thank you for the holiday card, the Thirst Trap holiday card that I got. I really appreciate it. I didn't know where to put it, but Sharif shirtless with a Santa hat was nice.
Oh, Sharif.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that card.
Okay. Never a dull moment around here. Why do we keep elbowing the bull? Like I elbow one of them. I think maybe you might have caught that one.
Oh, the Bulls are going to be here.
The Bulls got to be on the table today because we're looking pretty strong. But I will say this about HUT. HUT 8, the reverse split, of course. HUT 8 did the reverse split. Was it last week? Oh no, it was Monday. Effective Monday, essentially. So effective Monday. But if you look at what happened, it did the typical pullback after reverse split. Look at the clean levels on HUT. I mean, you look back and you can wish that you looked at the chart. I think if you look at the chart sitting down yesterday, you might have liked the short underneath 1250. That's obvious. And if it doesn't hold on to this $10 level, it can do that thing where you break down and then have to find a low. When this finds any bottom, if it fails at 10, give it any couple of days of consolidation. I like those reverse split, let it fall, find a base, and then run. Maybe it is $10. I don't know, but $10 is already under pressure here today. There's some chatter. Obviously, SoFi, the news yesterday that they're getting out of the crypto business. Whether or not that's whether we just had a technical fail of this breakout at $8, or if that is responsible for some of it, does remain to be seen. Of course, there's still more incoming news about student loans and all that good stuff. But I do feel like I like the long on SoFi when it's back above $8. Like, if the buyers aren't buying it above 8, and in fact probably even 8.15, I don't know if I want to fight this stock, because it's got a bit of a false breakout that just happened above $8. You have a reversal candle, it needs to hold on. So if it can hold on, yeah, I can be back with the longs, but that's a reversal candle till I see some strength above $8 for myself. It doesn't matter the why. You can peg, if SoFi ends up down today, you can call it that they got it to crypto, you can call it having to do with student loans. It doesn't really matter, you just gotta follow the price action here. I'm expecting good volume again on this name. And another one that was traded yesterday, I expect good volume on Palantir. We'll be back to hopefully trading that.
Yeah, the sticky note is now out. You guys can go find it. It has got Rivian, Uber, Google, AMD, Palantir, lots of exciting names coming through. Look at the market really starting to go upside again as Rivian gets to 1920. Look at Google starting to go as well, 134.45. Man, I couldn't be happier about this one, as this is a big, big holding for me as Google continues to march higher. And we'll see if it can take out 140. Not today, but maybe soon. We're looking for a 135 break on this. It's almost 9 o'clock right now. Bitcoin down about 2% today, down to 43.2 and moving around. So what's up, Ponzi Fonzie? What's up to everybody there in the chat? It's going to be another big day here. Like I said, Bitcoin, AMD. I mean, lots of names moving around. So let's go. Amazon was a great short yesterday. I don't know about that one today. AMD still going upside. Let's go back over to the bridge.
Tiger's leaving Nike? You see that?
All right, we're going to get some analyst moves here for you this morning. Upgrades and downgrades. Interesting names on this board. Adair has that over at the screen.
Biogen here with an upgrade from Raymond James. Datadog also getting an upgrade from Stifel, trading up about 1.5% as a result. Rivian definitely on watch here after getting an upgrade also from Stifel here. Sorry, they initiated coverage here with a price target of $23. Bumble, last but not least, getting an upgrade from Wells Fargo. For downgrades, we have ChargePoint getting a downgrade here from B. Riley Securities. Take-Two getting a downgrade from BofA Securities. This one's of note with regards to the Take-Two and the GTA 6 trailer, which was recently released. Vodafone getting a downgrade here as well. And last but not least, Sprinkler getting a downgrade from BTIG Research, guys.
I don't know what Sprinkler, like, I don't know that stock, but 29% to the downside. Here I was about to wax poetic about ChargePoint and its potential breakdown, but like, yeah, whatever the heck Sprinkler is. Down 29% is not good. At least last I checked, it's not good. Unless the previous day you were up like 500%, then, you know, who cares if you go down 29%? It's just a healthy pullback. I'm guessing if I pull that chart up, it's not going to look like that. But ChargePoint, this is kind of taking this one in stride. This is what a consolidation looks like at a low. And ChargePoint, let me just double check. The short float is 22% short float. I'm not saying it's made a bottom, but sometimes a stock shows you something that even when it's got bad news on top of bad news and Huadunks, it's made a bit of a low. It wiped out that bottom right here underneath $2 at 93, then held on to 180 a couple of times. It's back above 2. Sure, 180 is support, but if this can hold 2 and break out the quarter, you know, that's how like mini squeezes start. And guess what? It doesn't really have to go that far because it's only $2. So even if it breaks 225, heck, it could close this gap by nothing and give you 10%. So, you know, I got my eyeballs on ChargePoint. I don't see much of a catalyst for it to get going today, but if we do get a market update and this starts to go, the 225 is sort of standing out. I love these long consolidations with a huge gap to be filled because it's an easy setup if you get a breakout style trade. So ChargePoint's on the radar, not necessarily Sprinkler though.
I guess that, Whitney Wolf basically just drives Bumble and shareholder value right into the ground, and then she leaves, and now Bumble trying to get going, a couple different upgrades. There's no volume today. It's only 20,000 shares. I just thought I'd look at a little bit of a different name. The bottom could be 1350 here. Maybe you get this kind of earnings garbage out of there. Nice little move down. Now maybe we get back up to the upside, taking out 15 and maybe bouncing off this 1350. So this could be an area there where you might be able to get some love, but that's just another name. We don't talk about it enough, obviously, but you know, no volume here today, but I could see it 2.73%. I don't know. It just looks like there could be something there if you do your research. Buying now at 1430, then using this 1350 as your out isn't that horrible. So I think if BMBL, we got to read that report. I didn't, but this could be something. I just saw the chart there. I like when we sort of baseline like this above the 50 period. I think Bumble. And again, without reading the report, you know, 1550 from 14, I think it's probably worth, yes, Randy. Oh my God, you saved the day right there. There he is. How's Rivian? Have you seen Rivian the last couple of days? Rivian is blasting, bro. Why didn't you tell me to buy that one? You said to buy Volkswagen. Like, come on, bro. Oh, man. Yo, by the way, XOM, I didn't dip in. I own XOM, and XOM is getting you know, kicked down the river here a little bit. 99. Oh, actually, it's bouncing off yesterday, Randy. Yesterday we got that nice, let's see if this will ever load up. There it is. Look at this, man. Look at this. Nice move to the downside. But hey, oil's not going anywhere. Yeah, I think this might be a good opportunity now with the dividend in and around 4%. It's going to pay you to wait. I don't mind this one. And I also don't mind, and you and I talked about this yesterday, a little bit of Chevron action in your life, as right now buybacks are at all-time highs. So look at this. This is baselining pretty nicely down there as well, going all the way back to September of 2022. So yeah, Chevron looking really nice down there. But hey, I know you drive a lot, obviously, in to and from work. So gas prices coming down is a good thing. That's for sure. But you know, it's all not going to matter once you drive your Cybertruck, and then you can plug that thing in.
Yeah, right.
All right. See you, Randy. Thank you so much for everything.
Thanks, Randy.
All right. Randy does have awesome winter wear. You're right. He's got the toucan with the short sleeves.
But that's the funny thing is his summer wear is the same thing with jorts.
With jorts, yeah. You got to like the jean shorts. All right, cheers. Okay,
Nice
go.
hot
I'm always worried that it's going to...
One of these days, we'll probably...
I don't think it's going to break. I know that's your thinking, but they go in the dishwasher enough, maybe.
That's never happened to you where like you're...
I don't think so.
I've been doing dishes sometimes and like clearly there's a crack in something.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden it just breaks in your hands. I'm like, what the heck was that?
I'm bad with glasses. Like I'm bad with like washing wine glasses and stuff like that.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
If or something. But anyways, shout out to Breakable Kitchenware.
I actually saw somebody wearing sandals yesterday walking down the street.
That makes sense. Yeah. -5.
December, you know, whatever it is. December 6th, wearing sandals. I mean, be you, but you know. Let's get into everything else you need to know here. It's after 9 o'clock. Sharif's going to kick it off, as always, with a look at the market.
45.56, Brendo. That's where we closed off yesterday, holding that key 45.50 level that we've been talking about. I don't know how many times now since the second last week of November. We had an attempt at 4,600 midday. Yesterday, we've been talking about 4,600 as a key resistance level. I'm going to say it again. 45.50 support. If we move up, look for 4,600 as resistance.
Still in this range for the overall market, but let's get into everything you need to know. If you haven't done so, watchlist.tradertv.live or scan that QR code, enter your email address, and then you get that delivered very conveniently every single morning before we come on at 8:30. Remember, tomorrow morning, 8:30, non-farm payrolls. So that's going to be a market mover. Make sure you're up early and with us for that. Let's go. Google, top of the list yesterday. We were talking a little bit about this already, but they launched this Gemini AI, and already, I mean, have you opened Google Maps recently? I mean, you're an Apple guy, but Google Maps has completely changed. Yeah, the granular aspect of it is far more better now if you zoom in. I mean, we were talking about Google Documents yesterday, a lot more features. The voice activation, I mean, I have a Pixel, the voice activation, and just the quality of being able to do things by voice on my phone anyways is unreal. Better than I've ever seen it before.
I use it in my car almost every day.
Yeah.
So, but I haven't used it in that specific way. But yeah, it's a great look here, Brendo, for this Gemini release. It's supposed to be multimodal right away, so it's not additions to the large language model later like ChatGPT. This is built-in multimodal. So what we're looking at here is text analysis, voice analysis, and as well as dialogue. There's 3 of these coming out, guys. There's a Gemini Ultra, the Gemini Pro and the Gemini Nano. The Gemini Nano will be more for mobile devices, and the Gemini Ultra will be like their king. It's supposed to compete somehow with ChatGPT-4, despite the company, not Google, not really saying how well it did in comparisons. We'll have to see how it does, but they're also releasing the new TPU, their tensor processing unit, version 5, Brendo. So it's supposed to be used with this Gemini. Salesforce already using it.
Yeah, it's really impressive. I was amazed to a point where, and going back to the voice side of things, you can say something like you have to say, hey G to activate it, but you can say, show me my tasks or show me my calendar for tomorrow. And then without even indicating back to that, you can say something like, do I have something at 10:30 a.m.? And it'll say yes or no. So it's really, really handy.
Well, what's interesting is the second you said that about Google Maps, I opened it up. I'm like, oh yeah, it does look a little bit different. I do use it, but I haven't noticed it.
They changed the colors on Google Maps.
They changed it. Yeah. Exactly. And on top of that, we had just gotten a coffee. And what do you think I was getting recommendations for? And basically it was reviews of coffee shops popped up in my Google Maps, which we obviously were just having coffee. If you like your privacy, then stick with Apple. If you want the crazy functionality without it, then you want to be on Alphabet. But let's be real. Alphabet, the last couple of days, had given you a defined range, a 128 bottom and a 132 top. You probably know where I'm headed with this. If it's over 132, I think you're looking long. There's a lot of ways you can set up long trades here. Now that it's already at 135, so pre-market lows 133, that'll be the first support level. I also want to have a quick look at, let's zoom into the 3-minute chart, because now that you're starting to break levels to the upside, you have to. There was a nice consolidation at 134, so the even dollars look like dip buy areas for me on Alphabet today. And if it's going to take the stairs to the upside, then every previous resistance into support is the way that I like to play it. So I think this is a stair step kind of day for Alphabet. You know, great look for them, but I mean, nothing that anybody should be too terribly surprised about. The other thing to consider is you've just regained the 50-period moving average. So on the daily chart, you know, that hold of 133, sorry, the break back above 133 and subsequent likely hold today puts you on pace to get back up to at least like 138, 139. Like if we clear out 135 and all of a sudden we have that on the bid, Google's got room to 38 here on the daily chart. So I want to respect that. You got the market up 0.6. These guys and the next on the list are also leading this market.
Look, we wrote down here 132 dip buy. Obviously, that didn't come in. When we wrote that down, it was at 133. We should have just bought it at that point. And then we also wrote down a 135 break. So we're long. So we're long right now. Google, it just broke through 135. I do not have my Stream Deck open, but there it goes. So it's a nice move now. We'll wait to see where it goes. I mean, this is going to be a light position. You know, I don't seem to care too much about pre-market volumes when you're doing almost 1 million shares there right now, but let's just wait to see. This is a very, very light position. I'm bidding back down into 134, 134.50, where the 50-period moving average is. I like the long. What else can I say? I mean, I agree with everything. You know, Apple, obviously, they're all the same now, honestly. Whether or not you like Apple or Google or Samsung or whatever, just a matter of, you know, enjoy what you have right now, because technology is pretty amazing. And like I said, if I want to send Neil a message, you could just say, I won't do it, but, you know, let's say we're talking about Sirius satellite radio, but you could just say that. Send a message to Neil. Send a message. I mean, it's amazing.
Sirius satellite radio.
Yeah, I just don't want to say, hey Siri, because then that will wake up everybody's stuff again, right? So.
Made you say it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I did say it there. So, anyways, that's what we're doing right now. I think technology is amazing, and I'm still saying long absolutely everything. So, yeah, we should also say something like, hey Google, please subscribe to Trader TV Live immediately. So hopefully there. And hey Siri, please subscribe to Trader TV Live. And hey Alexa, please subscribe to Trader TV Live.
See, there you go.
And hopefully my phone is going off right now. So
well, yours is.
That's really good now. Yeah, look, it's trying to hear what I'm saying. Look at my phone right now is.
That's what it does.
Going off right now, trying to figure that out. But anyways, all right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you're now subscribed if you're not.
They are listening always.
Always.
Everyone's devices are going crazy right now. Sorry for that. Let's touch on AMD here. All the chip makers actually looking pretty good here this morning after a nice day yesterday. We had a huge reversal bar and then back to the upside. We're hanging out this morning. But a couple of positive analyst notes here. First off, for AMD price target hike from Raymond James up to 140. More importantly, both Meta and Microsoft coming out talking about their chip versus NVIDIA's, saying, hey, we might even jump ship and go over to AMD.
Well, it costs you $40,000 a pop, Brendo, for the H100, which is NVIDIA's flagship chip. We don't know exactly how much the MI300X, which is the AMD version to the H100, is going to cost, but we know it's likely going to be a little bit less than the $40,000. The issue here is, guys, there's software embedded with these GPUs. So when companies adopt a new chip, they're also going to have to adopt the software that comes with it. That's not an easy thing for hyperscalers like Meta, Microsoft, and the like. Now, with respect to projecting how much market share AMD is going to take from NVIDIA, because we know NVIDIA has approximately 80% of the market for these data center GPUs. We're only talking really about $2 billion in revenue for all of 2024. By comparison, NVIDIA did $14 billion in data center revenue in Q3 alone. So it's not a big portion of the market that AMD is projecting to take here, but nonetheless, good to have another participant in the mix.
Yeah, and let's be honest. I mean, it's still early days when it comes to these AI-specific chips. And, you know, like we were talking earlier with Raheem about the ETFs when it comes to Bitcoin, eventually there's going to be many of these things. We're spending a lot of time and you know, focused, rightfully so, on each individual one these days. But at some point, there becomes a lot more inventory and a lot more options.
Yeah, to that point, I believe it's even AMD was saying specifically that by 27, you know, that market is 400 billion annually, right? So if you look at NVIDIA saying 14 billion, and then they have, like, if they only have 2 of that, okay, well, if that's quarterly and it's going to grow to a $100 billion market, like, it really doesn't take much for AMD to be able to grow that 5-fold, 8-fold, 10-fold, like whatever you want to call it. Like, it's a pie that is growing. So as long as they are increasing their market share, whether or not they actually get to like a 50-50 almost doesn't matter. They can win without that. So all of that being said, and obviously just like Alphabet, you have some defined levels. I mean, how good is that 116.40 bottom now, triple bottom on AMD? Right, like that support level is come and gone. I don't think we see that today. If we see that today, something's gone horribly wrong in the market, at least in this name. So 121.5. This is where I think it can break out. Clearly, 125 is resistance on AMD. You saw that last week. But if this can get through the 121.5, the buyers step up. Fantastic. I think this has a chance to break out. If we don't break out, I mean, 120 is obviously a good psychological level, but it's this double close. Like, it closed 2 days in a row before yesterday, right around 118.40. So out in front of that level, like the high 118s, 119, that's where I'd prefer the dip buy, because then you have those 2 closes back to back for your support. So I like AMD for the long today. The other thing you have going with this stock is on the daily. Let's just sort of zoom out. Like on the daily, like you've held this nice consolidation on the last break up, which has that support at the 116, and again, room to 125. So it feels like it's trying to make a run at that high of the day. Let's give it that chance.
Look, yeah, it is going to pop up a little bit. I like that total addressable market situation right there. On the sticky note today, we did talk about AMD. We do like that 120, 150 long break. So if it can get above that level, I do like it, or a dip buy into 119. So I feel like it's pretty easy. I like that it's over 120 now, but it's actually hasn't really done like the Google things here, right? It's kind of just like hovering around its pre-market levels right now. So maybe there is a dip coming. I mean, is this a sell the news type of thing? We've all known about this conference coming up, or that happened yesterday. We've known about it. AMD hasn't really reacted to it, but there's 121 yesterday. Here's the huge move early and then the fade out. So I don't know. I'm not sure how good this news is. I mean, I think it's great for the space, but there's a 121 break. I'd like to see it get a little bit going, a little more than what we're looking at right now. So let's watch out for there. There's the 121.50 area that I'm talking about. So just goes back a couple days. We obviously got that huge outsized move yesterday morning, but that 121.50 kind of just Now this chart's going to do this, but right into there. So it's a bottom, it's a top, it's a break, and then if we break, I think 124 is not out of the question there. But look where it's come from, and this is what I'm talking about. Like we've known about this conference, this release of new chips, and that they were going to have to be somewhat competitive against NVIDIA. When NVIDIA's profit margins are 51% on these high-end chips, you know people are going to come in and eat that lunch. So, 120, 150 is the break long for me, and/or a buy down in around 119. I don't know why should we go lower than the pre-market lows right now? I don't see that. You also have the 200 period there. I like 119. I'm actually not bidding, but I think I want to make sure that's what I wrote down. Yeah, I think we want to bid there. So let's put a bid at 119 in case we get that flush. But if the flush comes through, guys, we could be wrong on this. They sold it yesterday. They could sell it again today. So we'll bid 119, but we will be getting out if we break 118 for sure to the downside. So let's be careful with this name. I still like the long, but we have to be pretty specific on what we're doing.
All right, let's talk some more AI, shall we? In the form of C3 coming through with Q2 results after the close yesterday, downside big time. The call I was just reading some comments from as well, not very positive, but there are a few numbers in here. I mean, yeah, it was a loss, but there are a few numbers in here that are not bad. Engagement, customer engagement up 81%, subscription revenue grew 12%. So, a few areas of things looking a little bit better, given, the world we live in now when all things AI is the only thing that matters, seems to make sense.
I just want to know what they do.
Apparently it's generative AI. And they have more than one offering too.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Shout
well,
out to C3.
The best ticker in the biz at the moment, but in all seriousness, guys, revenue climbed about 17%. They beat on the top line, they missed on the bottom line. While revenue grew 17% to 73.2 million, so did their total loss. It grew from 68.9 to 69.8 million dollars in the second quarter. They're in their second fiscal quarter, going into their third. Their revenue outlook is not bad. It's meeting the street's expectations. They're looking, Brendo, at 74 to 78 million dollars of revenue for Q3.
I was just reading about their products here. Financial services, they have an AI application. Industry problem solving, they have an AI application. Cash management, they have an AI application. So generative AI offerings for C3.
Okay, look, you're not going to look at them. A company like this that gives you a guide that's half of what the expectations were is usually not going to do well. But it is down 10% and it's got a short interest. I'm going to preface everything with that. Underneath 26, which is this support level, I'm looking short. This is 25.70. I think if it takes that down, I'm looking short, and I want to be short underneath 26 as long as we take out that bottom. And there's clear room. I mean, 23.35 is kind of this low here on the daily chart, which was all kinds of support. So from about 24 to underneath 23.35, I think at that point I'd start looking for SSR bounce plays. It either bounces there, or maybe it bounces right here at 26 even. So all I need to see is you wipe out the bottom, which is that 25.70. If it doesn't hold through, then 26 gets taken out. It's 30 cents in slippage worth of risk, which on AI is not bad because this is a $20 stock. It's not going to move 5-10 cents at a time. I think that's a reasonable look. I do not want this squeezing on me at the end of the day. Like if it makes the bottom here at 26 and I want to short it again, I'm looking back at that 28 level we talked about yesterday. And could it get to 28 again? I think that's possible. And once it's above 27, 25 here, then I would be looking to short into 28. So I am short biased on the stock, but I'll be very patient making sure we get the right setups. And if it breaks higher from 26, I'll probably be sitting the stock out for a while if 26 ends up being a bottom at 9:30.
Man. I mean, So, the number came out late. We didn't have it on the after show. It came out too late. But yeah, I look at this, man. 34% short float for C3 AI. A number of concern there for anybody that is short right now because I feel like there's going to be some coverage happening. Again, like this move down to 24 would be nice if you can get a dip buy into that, and that could come through. Whenever I see and we've seen Upstart, and I know that they came with better quarters and better guides and a little bit different, obviously, environment here than AI. But I mean, again, they have the symbol. We know that, right? And I think we could break higher, man, honestly. I think we could take down 27. I like, let it settle down, but this could be the bottom. I could see it flush a little bit. I don't mean we're at the bottom immediately, but I don't know if the bottom is going to be 24 or not. Could be 25.50, something like that, in some of this garbage there. And then just look for a relief rally back up. I mean, as the story goes here, it's a short float. The shorts have won, but you don't win until you cover. So we got AI news today with AMD and Google, and Microsoft's always going. So I feel like this name will get bought up, and I think it could be a short squeeze happening. I don't know if it's happening right now. It just bumped up 10 cents. But it's okay volume. It's a million shares. Let's just check out the imbalance locator as we have 10 minutes to go. So maybe there's something on there. NEO's on here right now. I don't see AI at all. I mean, I could sort it here. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. There it is right there. So it's small. It's only 3,000, now 10,000 shares to buy. So very, very small number there. I don't see any sort of effect happening on the open. You know, look for a squeeze up or melt up basically on this number. So I think we could go. And if you're going to go short on this name, I'd get out if you break through 27 bucks. So let's watch out for C3 AI and ho-hum. Google's just 25 cents now in the money and trying to go even higher. So let's wait to see what happens with Google. This is really where I'm most excited.
All right, let's go to GameStop here. Another one downside this morning coming off their reports. Some highlights here for you. Revenue miss, EPS beat. Losses continue to improve, but unfortunately it is still an L for GME coming back into the last gap to the upside conveniently this morning.
I think it's a story of consumer spending shift, Brendo, because it's the second time we've seen a gaming-related, retailer or software developer come out in the last little while and, report underwhelming numbers. We saw that with Take-Two Interactive. We're seeing it again here with GameStop. I guess the only silver lining here is that Ryan Cohen seems to have costs under control, Brendo. He dialed back expenses about 24% on the quarter to about $296.5 million. So he's trying to, hold up to what he said on CNBC, which was it's going to be the quarter of extreme frugality. Yeah. So not the year of efficiency like Meta, but he's got his own little take.
I think the volume tells the story here this morning. 395,000 shares traded. Meanwhile, guys, the market is just marching higher here.
Oh, no doubt it's marching higher. Well, GameStop's not really marching higher. So, and the good thing about having a few things in the playbook or in-play stocks like a GameStop is that you don't necessarily have to worry as much about what the market is doing when you trade this, because it's not going to be big cap tech and it's not going to have exactly the highest correlation with the overall market. But this is a flat bottom break, and I understand there's a short float to deal with here. So you can see what the support was the last week or so. 1435. It was a double bottom, almost a triple bottom. That's exactly where some support even came into the stock in the aftermarket at the 35 and the 14 even levels. So if it gets back above that price, I don't think you fight it. I think you're probably going mini squeeze there above 1435. Otherwise, I want to look for shorts underneath that line. 14 even, maybe pop and fade at the open because that's a nice even dollar level. But I think it gives you two areas to attack for short trades on GameStop, which oddly enough, like one day we had to pay for it. You don't have to pay for locates here today. Either way, it's always a potential squeeze. And if it goes down 10%, certainly an SSR bounce. If I see this at $12 today, I am looking for an SSR bounce at the $12 level because that's a little bit of significant support down there on GameStop. But first things first, underneath that 14 and 1434, I'll try a couple of shorts under those prices as long as they continue to set up, and that's what we're seeing here.
We've played GameStop the last couple of days to no avail. We lost on it. We were going long, trying to think about a break through the highs. Never happened. Now you're getting lower. So the 52-week low on this name is 1132 or something like that. So just watch out. Maybe it's 1182, 82 or 72. But I don't think that's going to come into play today. And yeah, I mean, look where we came from. So I feel like you could just get right back down there. Not that exciting. Video game demand to the downside there. I do like the GTA 6 possibility, but that's not coming out for a very, very long time. And then you can buy video games now anywhere. So I don't I'm not in love with GameStop here today. I'm in love with Google, which is now 30 cents in the money and still going higher. So look at this market screaming to the upside. I feel like you don't even need to look at GameStop today, but as Neil said, when this gets SSR, you could get a bounce. So that would be around, I guess it's going to be earlier than 13 bucks, but that could be a spot as well. So let's just, you know, I'm going to leave Google. I mean, I'm going to leave GameStop. I can't even stop thinking about Google. I'm going to leave GME alone. And, well, I shouldn't say that. We'll look at it, but it's not on my radar early. Hold on a second. Let's just, as we just have a couple more seconds left before we get the imbalances out, let's see if it does anything here to some of these names. I don't see GME on this list either here today. Fabian, if you come to my screen just really quickly, we just got, there's Nikola with a quick little bid there, Mullen, Funware, not much else. Fisker with a small bid there. A
lot of high quality names.
Yeah, a lot of high quality names on here as well. There's AMD with a little bit of a buy, so that's a little bit of a shot there to the arm for them. Neo could be looked at as well, near $8. Anything else catching our eye? I just saw Palantir for a second and then it went away. There it is, yeah, 100, so that's not doing anything for PLTR. But Google going back down here. So maybe Google was a sell somewhere. I didn't see it, but there goes Google back into 135 and then right back up. So, okay, only 4 minutes now before we get going.
Oh, you're going to be in the... Yeah. There's Randy. We were talking about Rivian. Let's talk about crypto here. Downside a couple of days in a row after a huge run up for Coinbase. I mean, Bitcoin's kind of hanging out this morning. A couple things to note. ARK was very busy over the past couple of days with all of these things moving around. She sold 180,422 additional shares of Coinbase yesterday, but was backing up the truck a little bit on Palantir, Sean. 1.5 million shares of Palantir going into the main fund for ARK.
Yeah, Aunt Kathy's been busy lately, Brendo. Reuters coming out with an interesting report overnight about the state of the spot ETF, basically saying this: discussions between the U.S. securities regulator and asset managers hoping to list Bitcoin exchange traded fund ETFs have advanced to key technical details. A sign the agency may soon approve the product, industry executives say, Brendo. So
yeah,
getting on the precipice of it, I guess.
They're coming. It's a matter of when. It was 27 million total notional there for Palantir, guys.
After earnings have already come out there and they did make a dip. We'll get to Palantir in a second. I don't know if we get the best opportunity at the levels we like in Coinbase, because I know where I wanted this short, and I feel like we're way too far away from a key level. Maybe 135 turns into something. It looks like when you pull up the chart, it was kind of resistance and the kind of support. So that's the first place I'd look as a potential key level, but that's very much like exploratory. If it gets to 35 and sellers show up, great. If it breaks 35 and buyers show up, then I think you can trade off that level. Until then, we get to 22 and I want to go long Coinbase. Like, it's just, that's the big level there. Palantir, as you mentioned, I think that's much more, it's at an interesting level almost right now. Like, it bottomed at 17, which is a double bottom, because here is 17 at the open. That is a real wick down to 17 at the open. It held pretty much there at the close. If it holds on to 17, I think that's a decent dip buy zone for Palantir, but it is a pretty decent pullback. If sellers come in under 17 on Palantir, I don't think this is worth fighting. If it gets underneath like 1690, I'd probably look for shorts underneath Palantir under that 17 level. That's support until it's not, but that is a totally reversible type level on Palantir, because there's room to 15 bucks for this to pull back, and it won't even be that ugly when you pull out the daily chart. For this to get back into the teens really isn't even all that bad. So under 17, I don't think you want to fight this one and look for a bit of a short there. We have 1 minute to go, but I wanted to mention 39 Affirm. So yesterday, Affirm broke out at 39. It then failed 39 right at the close. So maybe it's head and shoulder, whatever you guys want to call it. I just think that 39 showing back up again. If the buyers get above 39, I'd look for this to go long again. But when I see this, I immediately think fail breakout off 39, look for the short the next day off the same level.
Yeah, there's a reason why we were hitting this over and over yesterday with Palantir. I mean, there was going to be a time where they came in and bought this name. I like this breaking through 1775. So let's see if we can get some action there for Palantir. I already have that order in. Pretty wild here off the open as AMD Feel like we're going to get punched into this one very, very soon. It just made some dances, man. It was all the way up to 120, 130. Now
close.
pulling back again. Back down in, and then same thing for Google. Google was up at 40s, and we thought we were going to get the 50 print, but we did not. So it's going to be wild here off the open with only 30 seconds to go right now. Let's wait to see. I'm ready to go. I've got Google dip buy opportunities. We've got AMD dip buy opportunities, and we could get railroaded right here off the open if the market does really pull back in. So we're not using a huge amount of shares, but we are ready to go. So we'll wait for some pullbacks, man. Google 134.50, AMD 119. All right, here we go. 10 seconds left. Palantir making moves back down as well. Maybe this market got too heated this morning.
Well, it's only 0.75, but it is up to start. Let's see what happens in 3, 2, and 1. Bring it.
All right.
And now we're open. You're right. It is a little bit heated. We did pull back off that number yesterday. Okay, Palantir's already at 1717, I should say.
That's about
Oh, goodness, Affirm. Affirm doesn't even care about going up, so we can fade 39. I'm going to get an offer out here just in case it gets back above that 38 level. I don't want to get completely caught off guard. But Palantir, that 17 level feels like it's the first thing to come in as AMD. Okay, 20 cents away, AMD from breakout.
Yeah, we're already long Palantir. We're already in the money 15 cents. We're long at 17.10 here, 17.16. Sorry, we're in the money 10 cents. Trying to give it back down into that 17 area to see if we get some more love back in. So there it is right there. There goes Palantir. So it's a good little dip buy opportunity for me. We saw that flash down. There's the long there. Wow. Okay. So now we're in the money 17 cents here. We're in the money also. It's an early one, guys. Spin the dollar club for Google. There it is right there, man. 135. Sticky note will not let you down. There it is, an early dollar for you. $1. How about $1.20? How about $1.50 right now as we spin that right there for you? Early little win there for Google, and that's it, man. Yeah, we're done. We'll see you guys tomorrow. But no, right there, it's a nice little move up for Google. $1.50 in the money right away. Thank you so much, Paulie D, and everybody in the chat there. Jim Tan Laundry.
Paulie D, I know who you are. That's D's in the chat. You didn't have to change your name, D's. But that's from yesterday. It is what it is. You can always go back to your old name before. So I took the 26 break on C3AI. Still favor a 25.70, but I'll take the early one on that 26. It comes in and out. I wanted that to work right away. So just to get that one out for you. AMD did not break, I guess. I didn't get a fill, so it didn't. That was right there. Oh my goodness, that went 2 cents away from triggering. All right, I'm gonna go for the dip buy in AMD, but we just rejected that 125. That's clearly a big level. If it turned the way it did, I think we got a good level on AMD. GameStop, that's not really moving GameStop, to be honest with you.
We were at 119.50. It went down to 119.55, so we just missed that. But you know what, guys? It don't even matter because look at this one. Google right now $1.70 now in the money on probably the easiest play was just to go long. And we knew the news. We talked about it. Brendan talked about how much he loves the Pixel and how much everything is AI for Google. We knew it was going to bounce, and there it goes, man. I just hope you guys have this. It's a monster, and honestly, we'll look for some more stuff here. Palantir, we're only at a 30%. I think we want to go longer on this one as well. AMD continues to make that move higher. Let's just check out Rivian quickly to see what's going on with that one. The other way right now. So we were looking at $20 break. Rivian coming in pretty hard. But you know what, man? Now we are now right there. You know, $2 is good. I don't care, I mean, what kind of share size you have or what, but there goes Google, man. We're long at 135. We took it in the pre-market. We talked about the volume being really solid in the pre-market as well. It's a nice move, and it's Google, man. It's party on. I'm not going to get out of this one. We don't have enough shares left. So now we'll just hold on to it and see where we go. Any sort of a retracement back down, let's look at that. But hey, it is what it is. We hit that trade, and we'll just have to watch out for our Palantir as our net is just kind of hovering right now. So Palantir moving around, but not too much. You have no positions on. I'm looking at GameStop.
I just got into GameStop.
Yeah, nice bump up there on GME right now. Watch out for this one, guys, on GME.
So GameStop, quickly, I'm going to get to plug power in a second, but that's the other thing that's setting up from yesterday's levels. We talked about that one a lot yesterday. So this is the level I liked on GameStop, 1435. It just popped over, got to 40s and then failed under, so short underneath when it reclaims. If it breaks this top, that is a potential squeeze out zone, so I waited for it to get to resistance on GME. Also, AMD is now about to break. So AMD 121.50, there it goes. AMD just broke that level. The first time it got there, it stalled at 40s and pulled back $1.50. I like the fact that it pulled back off this level makes me like the long a little bit better. And if I see buyers start to emerge ahead of it, I'll look for opportunities to add on AMD. It's not the only chip name I wanted to look at today. I'll get to ARM in a second, but AMD just made its breakout. You couldn't even get more at 60 just there, but the buyers are starting to come in. I want 122 as first out, then I want to go dip buy hunting on AMD. Let's go to Adara.
Yeah, BNED running right now, guys. This is Barnes & Noble Education. They just posted a Q2 EPS beat and sales miss, and also reiterated guidance, up almost 40% right now.
Oh, man. All right. I mean, when everything works, it's not a fluke because, like I said, man, it seems like every day we're doing stuff like this. We're long AMD through 120, 150, exactly as it was written. So it's just been an amazing day, man. Google's now $3, almost $3 in the money off the sticky note. AMD's 50 cents in the money off the sticky note, and Palantir is now 30 cents in the money. And we just continue to go higher and higher and higher. Like this is the best trading I've ever done. And it's the best because it's just chill mode. It's, you put on the trade, like, look how casual this is. Okay, AMD, I'll take 75 cents. It's like, all right, let's just take it out. Like Google's ripping up 250 in the money, AMD's ripping. I mean, it's all working. And when things work and you follow your plan, this is what happens. And so let's just see, man, trust in who you are, trust in your abilities. And there it goes, man. We're now out of half of AMD as we're just sort of, sticking with what we're doing. We're scalping out. We'll take another piece out right now. But hey, this is amazing, and we're just going to go. Thank you, Ozan. You do not need to change the name of the moon to my name because that would be insulting the moon. So let's go. Let's see if we can get to the moon here on some of these plays. Let's just stay long. I feel like this is going to be a great day. We've talked about being bullish here today. We're in the right names. And honestly, man, the net just keeps on growing here. So today, once again, is another good day.
Exactly, but if you have a plan, you have to follow it. So I always have targets on explosive breakout trades, and AMD, zoom it out. If it's breaking this level, which we talked about, then the next level up is 122.50. And if it breaks that, then you get to that 123.5 to 125 zone. So any sign of weakness on the tape here at 50s, which it just pulled, that's the next out for me. So first out was 22. It just broke 50s and then came back in. So I jump out of another leg. Now I'm thinking this is a hold until we get to 124, 125. Going to continue to be in this. I think you can stair step it as well. We haven't gone to 1% on the NASDAQ. AMD's done 10% before. It's been a while since it's done that kind of a move. But I've taken 2 shots at this level on GameStop. It's still holding pretty decently. Maybe I need the spread to start tightening up a little bit, but it's wicked a couple of times above. I got a good entry the second time. I'll give it one more chance because GameStop not really following the market here as it is showing some signs of weakness. Oh, one more for you, NIO and $8. So NIO is now barcoding off of this $8 level. 95 is about the high of the day. I'm going to go for the breakout here on NIO. The fact that it couldn't push back through the close price and held the dip is a nice setup for a breakout long. So dips, hold support at the bottom, maybe even trap some shorts under the pre-market lows, and then looking for a rip to the upside. Thought we'd get a shot at Affirm with the market being strong, but Affirm is not really shooting to the upside here. Affirm still weak despite the fact that the market is flying, so no trade for me there on Affirm. I wanted to fade that one on a pop, but there hasn't been a pop on Affirm.
All right. I mean, now we have only 30% left. Yeah, there it is, Nolly. There it is, everybody. Like, if you guys are done for the day, I ain't going to blame anybody for that. It's a nice move to the upside, especially if you have the plays that we have on board here as well. I mean, GameStop, AI, AMD. We're long AMD together here, which is great. We're just really, again, hitting goals and stuff like that is what it is. But I hope everybody has some of these plays. I mean, if we're going to look at the sticky note here, just every day I show this, and I don't know, like, there it is, Google 135 break. It's at 137.50. AMD 121.50. Palantir long. It's all here. I mean, we haven't looked at Rivian or Uber yet, and we'll do that when we get back from Madeira.
Yeah, just Fisker here, FSR popping up on strong volume, up almost 8% right now. Last night after the market closed, their chairman and CEO basically made a statement that saying negative reports have been overblown and he has confidence in the company going forward. So this one popping after that, guys.
Remember 40-something% short float in Fisker. Rivian's actually getting woodshedded a little bit here. Okay, it's not getting woodshedded. The market's going up, it's going down. It seems a lot worse than it is. It's only up 1%. But if this cannot hold on to its 1835, that's the key level. It's 1825. Check that, 1825. If it can't hold on to that, I think this stock is in a world of hurt for not AMD, for Rivian. AMD's
not a world of Jalen Hurts, though. I don't think yet.
The game's actually really disgustingly bad tonight. Nobody's going to watch football tonight.
What is it?
It's Pittsburgh, and we were talking about this. It's Pittsburgh and New England, which
Trubisky?
Literally nobody cares. Mitchell Trubisky will be a quarterback.
He'll be better than Pickett, most likely, at least.
I don't know about that.
You don't?
I actually think he'll be worse. But
Really?
That's, again, I have nothing against
Best
Trubisky.
Bills quarterback. Mitchell Trubisky was
He did.
Bears.
Yeah,
Did he have a stint with the Bills?
No,
Why
I
do
don't
I think that.
No, it was a different guy.
Yeah. It was a different guy.
So third time, it's the same level, and I'm only trading this level on GME. I think we're a little patient. It's like 10 minutes in now, and it's made another wick high. So a little bit more selling, at least this time. Like there's a few lots at 48, and then a few lots at 50, and then some lots at 52 with a 55. I think is where I want to be out of that one. So if it's going to break that, fair enough. I want to look for weakness. I thought it would be in GameStop. I thought it would, okay, a firm's starting to get into this 39. If a firm breaks out at 39, this could easily get to 40, 41, 42, all that stuff that it did yesterday. But it's starting to climb up to that upside. I want to play it as a fade first because it's big resistance, but I am looking to reverse this if I get an opportunity. The other name I was going to get to was Plug Power.
AMD did.
I think you short the pops on Plug.
$3 winner.
As long as this stock is failing under 420, I think you short the pop. So 420 is going to be the level for me.
The sticky note at Sharif so he can review it. All right, so SoFi right now, huge move again. Thanks for alerting us on that one again. Up 3% or 2.5%, and starting to go right now. There he is, and starting to go right now. 815, maybe a level if you want to look for a break on that one. Yeah, we are now $1.50. Thank you, Sharif. We are now $1.50 in the money on AMD, and $3 on Google. And then the better trade actually. Nah, there is no bet. I mean, I like the AMD trade the best because it allowed us to use more shares because it was during the market open. So that's better. I mean, obviously, if Google, I would have loved for Google to have broken like at 9:30 and 5 cents or something, or in 5 seconds, we probably would have taken it a lot more, but it did break in the pre-market. This trade on Palantir, I mean, this is why we talk about it, and shout out to the Sharif over here, Anadera. And it's like, we talked yesterday about journaling and stuff, and I was like, I don't journal, right? But the thing is like, it's about having the trade plan, and we're giving it to you for free every single day here, and the plan was to get long Palantir. So when you dip down there into yesterday's close, that's like, okay, you're gonna give me a long opportunity from yesterday's close while the market is up 0.5% and still starting to go on a name that I like long. So that makes sense to me. I guess SVFD halted, says Tisha, but we're going to go to Adara for some news.
Yeah, AI continues to be the theme of the day here. Meta up almost 2% on news that they have released guidelines for AI models, including Purple Llama, which is basically for safe and responsible AI development. Also, Elon Musk saying that Grok will be launching on for X Premium Plus members. So lots of AI-related news continuing to be the theme here, guys.
Lots of it. Oh, there we go. I always have to remember that transition's going through, so I give it a beat. But lots of moves happening in AI land, including AI back underneath that 26 level. This time there was a buyer at 90s almost instantly. Gimme always gets. Gimme. So the buyer at 90s, it just broke down off that level. I just got some at 84. So when 90 broke, I was going to take the 26 short, even, which we had last time. But then the buyer at 90 showed up, so I shorted underneath that. So just go back to the level that I like and then wait for the trade to set up again. We got 84s. GameStop is starting to work back into the downside. It's the third time we took it. I want to get out. If we break that 14 first out, it's going to be underneath 14 on GME. And here comes a dip potential. I shouldn't say potential. You're already getting a little bit of a dip. Plan of action, I still like to buy the dip in AMD. I don't think you have to wait until all the way till 120, 150. If it gets to 22s, which was a key close, I think that can be a level to work off of. Even dollars work just as well as anything when looking for dip buys. For what it's worth, it's early, but VWAP also happens to be 122 on AMD. That doesn't hurt at all. So I want to be looking for the dip buy there. Okay, now there's someone buying in front of evens on GameStop. I should respect that and take something out in front of 14 even.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, man, GameStop was tough for me the last couple of days, and I don't like that stock. Roblox, not really. I was looking at Roblox, not doing much. It's basically flat right now. Let's have a quick look at Rivian. I'm going to try to stick with the story here and just look at some of the names that I do have on the trade list for myself. All right, so Rivian. Look at this, man, dipping right into yesterday's close again. So I feel like this could be a good opportunity to buy a little bit of Rivian here. We did get out of more Palantir as it's not super strong like these other names. Right now, we're $3 right now in the money on Google off the sticky note level. And then like Neil mentioned there, we are pulling back on AMD. I have 10% left of AMD. But Rivian's come back into this level. Let's take a shot here, see if we can get, well, we will get it. We're going to bid 31s. Oh my God, we missed it. Okay, well, we'll punch, oh my God, I was going to say we'll punch 33s. Okay. All right. Well, that's fun. Thanks, Rivian. We just bid 31s and it rips to 37, 38. All right. Well, whatever. Screw you, Rivian. All right. But if it comes back into like as if, oh, that sucks. All right. Maybe I'll just, oh my God. I was like, let me buy some 40s and it just ripped up through 40 again. All right. Well, now we need to wait for it to pull back. And there it is. So now we get a little bit longer here on Rivian. The play for me, now that we're not in huge yet, but 18, I mean, yeah. All right, let's just hold this to 18. If we break back down below 18, fine. So now that, see, this is, so if you want to go through the mind of me, I don't know why, but I'm going to start, now that we're in this, I start to level into the trade, understanding what my risk is if it breaks through 18. Right? Because we don't want to give back everything we've obviously made on AMD, Google, or Palantir by making one stupid trade in Rivian. Rivian is down on the day. The market is up. This is not necessarily something that I absolutely love, but I like the name here. It's been a nice move. We're still above the 50 and we're above the support here at 18. So if we break through 18, let's get out. Let's average in a little bit closer to that because again, bad name here. Let's not get absolutely rinsed on it. So here we go. We're long at 33. Let's see what happens with Rivian with our out up down there at an 18 break.
So I got that AI, I got to 25.50 just now, but some buyers, for a very split second, buyers stood up there. They didn't last. That's the best way to think about it. It's headed right in for 25 even. I want to get out if it breaks 20. I want to get out on 25 and look for a re-entry somewhere. I mean, the market's relatively strong. This can squeeze. When it's SSR, I like to cover it at even dollar levels just in case it makes that SSR bounce play on us. So C3AI starting to work to the downside. Oh, goodness, AMD. As I was putting an order in there and putting another 14 order on GameStop, AMD just wicked 122.06. Oh, see, that's the thing. It did not last very long down there. All right, I'm just gonna get on the bid. Sometimes I like to see it get down there and try and punch, like hit the offer as it's bouncing off the level. This was a simple case of if you wanted 22s, you had to sit on the bid. It's just, there's no other way around it. You weren't getting that fill, I don't think, unless you were sitting on the bid and catching it on the way down. So it continues to be strong. Even with the market pulling back, it's bounced once. Going back over to GameStop, as I said, look at the way it bounced off 14 even. When I see that, I still like the same resistance level, but this is still a squeeze potential type name. If it's going to squeeze on me, I don't want to get too far out of the pocket. And one more for you on earnings. Chewy, 11% down with a 25-cent range off of the open. I don't think it's going to hold a 25-cent range for the majority of the day. So watch out for Chewy. The fact that it can't bounce to the upside being 10% down, if this takes out the low, kind of like C3AI, I didn't like this before. I now like this one breaking out the low of the day on Chewy just because it hasn't moved. And I put the bid out there. We just got AMD. Sometimes you have to actually just put a passive bid and see if you can't get the fill. It starts to come back into that downside. So GameStop reload, AMD reload, looking for a bottom break on Chewy.
Oh, man. I mean, what's that? Travolta? Yeah, I guess Travolta. Or we could just do this. Another one. Like Rivian, we just took 15 cents. Like it was just, we took it like it's easy. I don't, let's just keep on watching it. We also did, I'm not going to reload AMD, but we took another piece out there at 50 when it got there. I mean, again, it's, We're just getting lighter on this. The market's pulling back down in here. So for me, we now have 5% and we are almost pretty much out of everything. We're holding Google for an ultimate moon, which we might have already got him at 138, but I'm not going to trade AMD anymore. We will wait for it to drop down just a little bit, and there it is, man, another bounce off of that VWAP, so that's going to be a good one right there. Like I said, man, the amount of money on AMD, Google, Palantir, and Rivian is half decent. We'd like to have a little bit more on Rivian. Look at this move, man. We just got in and just got a piece out there at 50. Did we get that? No, I did not get that. I thought we got 53, but we didn't. It went to 53 and stopped. But we got some 48s there on Rivian off of a 33 long, so not bad, 15 cents there. We're still holding, I'm only out of 20% of it, so 30% of it. So we're still holding 70 points on that to see where that one goes. But yeah, man, so far so good. Tesla, more like Worstla. Let's see, that's a good one there, Slap Chop guy. Let's see what's happening with Tesla here today. It's not good. Like I said, man, Rivian fell down. We picked our poison with that one as well. Yeah, so Tesla's not looking good at all. It's consolidating here between 237 and 238. It's looking fine. It's just you're consolidating, and I think we probably go lower as there goes the market. This is why I'm going to get some more out on Rivian. This is why we didn't really reload anything there on AMD. But
well, it gave the bounce to 50.
It did give the bounce to 50. That was a good one.
Well, I'm out of it now, though. It's okay, good. It's showing. Okay, I just got out when it broke the 90s. So I did reload, grabbed liquidity at 50, but then took the last of it out there when it broke 90. So really risking about 15 pennies on that last little bit. I just think there's some short opportunities coming in, and obviously I want to look at that Affirm trade. But Chewy also for the breakdown, I put my order in. It has to break the low of the day. The second I'm like, oh, this is not going to make this range and hold this range, it actually bounces higher. So it needed to break the low for me to go short. I wasn't just going to short it anywhere. It's actually at the high of the day now. Oddly enough, as the market pulls back, probably one of the weakest stocks is trying to squeeze, and that's Chewy. Earnings weren't good. That's why it's down.
All right, 3 for 3 here off sticky note again, as Rivian is really on one again. So there it is, man. One for Google, one for AMD, one for Palantir, and another one for Rivian. So it's actually 4 for 4, all sticky noted up names. So so far so good there. As there goes AMD right back up to the upside. So all right, someone asking me about where's my out for Palantir. So we just took another piece out there at 28. We should have, I didn't even realize it dipped down to that level. I'm not gonna reload that. I do have another bid at 12, similar to where we got this. We got it at 15. So if it does come back into 12, all good on that one. But I mean, honestly, here we go again today, right? It's not easy to go to make these calls and sort of stick out like this and show everybody, but I'm just trying to show you all that, you know, making money doing this is very, very possible. And I mean, there it is. It's going to go 4 for 4. And they're all very, very liquid names that we all could have either got options on or traded, no matter what the share size. You can share size up on any of these names, AMD, Google, Palantir, Rivian. So, I mean, this is why we continue to look at these names. I was talking to my guy, Justin, behind me. And I'm like, dude, just trade the big names because if you like that, if you have to like the style, and it just gives you clear levels a lot of the time, and you can really get the momentum going because you're not going to be the only one looking at these things. So there it goes, man. Nice move up there for Rivian. It keeps on going. So I don't know. We'll take another piece out here at 58 if we're lucky enough to get it, which we just are. Right there, 25 cents Rivian, 40 cents Palantir, 220 Google, and right now $1 on AMD. But we're at the highest spot we've been at all day. All of our stocks seem to be moving here. So far, so good. I'm just going to chill out. We probably should have bought some dips there off that VWAP, but again,
AMD's starting to hold again.
Yeah, AMD's a good one, man, and that's what I'm talking about. You know, trade the right names, look at them early, and there you go. You can raise trophies as well.
Yeah, it's all about finding those opportunities out there. So I said if we hold bids above 14.35 on GameStop, that's a reversible stock for me because it can squeeze. So we took the shots at the short. A couple of them did not work. The third one got us to 14. Took about 40 cents on the first leg of that. Was looking for 70 or 80 on the rest. I think GameStop moves, you know, it's not a $14 stock. It's going to move pennies. It tends to move dollars. So I want this long to that 14.35 level. You can get to 15 here if it's going to squeeze. Chewy's also a possibility for that as well, but I still favor that one short. AMD just gave a good bounce off VWAP here. I'd like to see the NASDAQ hold 15.9. That would be a good sign if it can hold 15.9. The longer it does that, the more I'm going to like reloading in AMD. I want to stick stair step to the upside on a strong stock, and when you take the stairs up, you look for those consolidation levels every single time. Chewy's the one I want to get to here, guys. Chewy now breaking out, so it's going Squeezeville. Did not give you the levels. If it gets to 18 to 18 quarter, I think that's a fade zone on Chewy, but it's got to get there first. AI is trying to get back to that 26 level, so it did. I mean, it wicked 25.12. I was sitting at 8s. Check that. I was sitting at 6, but it's wicked that 25 level and trying to get back above 26. 26 is the key price for me. If it's underneath 26, then I want to be fading AI. If it's over 26, that was the big support on the daily. I want to play it in the other direction. So sticking to the 3 names that we've been in, I'd like to get a firm, but a firm just didn't set up for me. I thought that was going to be the other stock we traded. It didn't get to 39 for the short. It hasn't broken 39 for the long, so I'll just sit here waiting for a firm to make a move into the key level that I want to trade it.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea because yesterday a firm was hot fire, but yeah, I got to wait for that. We've been looking at 39s and 40s the whole time, so no more. I remember when Funware was something that was pretty fun to trade, but if you're in this name, you are not having fun right now as they drop an offering of 2.8 million, 46.7 million shares, $2.8 million right there. So whoosh to the downside there for Funware. Not fun with that one at all. All right, Rivian. I mean, we got some more pieces out. We have to do this as it continues to go. We'll take a 46 right there as well, and we'll just continue to watch out what's happening here. Just trying to bleed out of everything a little bit now. Palantir's falling back in, so why don't we take a look at that and maybe take another piece. We don't have to get super creative with our positions right now. Again, like we don't talk about P&L, but I can tell you like we're up a little more today already than we were yesterday. It's only 9:56, so that's pretty good. And we're just kind of slowing down. It's coming into 10 o'clock. We don't have any major numbers coming as far as I know. Yesterday we did short Disney, which turned out to be
just wholesale.
Pretty good, yeah. Is it wholesale inventories? All right, so let's wait to see what's happening there with Disney. A nice upside move. This could be an aggressive name if we want to try to get long some Disney down here. I don't see why that's not something down at $92. It's up on the day. You are trying to bounce a little bit off VWAP right now. So let's try to see if there's any names that maybe are VWAP names that we want to look at here. AMD, we've already been aggressive with that one. We could have reloaded that at VWAP, would have been great at 121.90 right there, but that's not coming into play. Google, I'm just trying to find some reload levels. They're all reloaded at VWAP now, so we got to find other names that maybe haven't been as aggressive now, but yeah, nice. Okay, Amazon actually at the 200 period right now. That's not looking
Meta's
horrible.
strong.
Meta also. Okay,
we have a scanner for like VWAP pullbacks on Trade Ideas, just so you guys, if you're wondering how you can know that quickly, it's a setting. Anyone can have our layout to Trade Ideas. You just have to probably ask Michael for it. It's the easiest thing to do while we're on the show. But not just VWAP, but 322 on Meta. So this is 322. I think anybody can see previous resistance turning into support, and then also bouncing off VWAP is Meta. So, I mean, this looks very much like AMD, except AMD's already made a bounce. I'm going to look to try to get a long that I can give to 321.5 here on Meta. Just want to play this bounce. If we're above 15.9, I still want some big cap tech to the long side. And I didn't get back into AMD after the tight stop out. Maybe it gives me an opportunity. So the names I like short, I'm going to stick with AI. I don't think we get that Chewy trade. And as far as the firm goes, it's about being patient. Yeah, I mean, the only other way to set up a short on a firm would be to short the pre-market high. And even that's not close enough to the pre-market high to go short just yet. So I'm still going to preach patience. We reversed GME. I thought we'd get a chance to bounce off of that 14.35 price and be able to add to it there. But if this is going to break higher, first out isn't until we get right up into the 14.90s in front of 15 even. And if it breaks 15, my level is 16 quarter is what I had marked off as resistance. That's probably on the 15-minute, not the daily. Yeah, it's more like 16.15. 16.15, I think, is a termination spot for any long on GameStop, even if it's going to go squeeze.
All right. Oh, man. No, I did not trade Microsoft yet. You did not miss it. But we did trade this right now. New position in its Amazon, and we just put that one on board as well. Let's see if it can go. We just got 65s. 65 and 68 there, actually, on a nice little move upside right here. So there it goes. Another win for us on Amazon, but we'll have to wait for that one. That one's going to be very, very interesting. We did take some more out on Rivian. AMD is really coming in pretty nicely right now, pretty dramatically for advanced micro devices. Wow, this name is really spitting, not hot fire, spitting to the downside. It's a good thing we didn't reload that one. But yeah, nice move down in. Let's wait for 120 before that comes through. And our newest position for the long, maybe we have to get a little bit worried. Are we losing some steam here? Palantir's nicely up to the upside again as well, 23 cents in the money. But I don't know, I don't want to buy that dip there in AMD, but maybe it's worth it. I don't know. I don't like that what just happened. You're down there to the 50-period moving average. Let's hold off on this, man. Like I said, we are not in this to mess around. We're going to wait for some really key levels to hopefully come in, and if we can see those, then we'll hit them. But here's an average into Amazon, so we just got a 145 fill there. Let's see if we can get this thing back into the 50s. There it is right now. A nice little move back upside for Amazon as the Scalper King continues right now. Let's go back over to Adara as we got a number.
Yeah, what do we have here? The wholesale inventories month over month just coming in a bit lower. Previous was 0.2. Consensus and forecast were negative 0.2. We got negative 0.4 here, so a bit lower than we were expecting. Here we have the market very much to the upside here. The Qs up about just over 0.5% right now, so definitely to the high side after a day of weakness yesterday. In terms of some stocks moving, we have a lot of earnings plays, including ChargePoint, lower pre-market. Now we're up about 7% after a revenue miss and EPS miss. We also have JetBlue trading up 15% now after basically posting or having higher than expected Q4 projections. So keep an eye on JetBlue here, guys. Brought to you by SurgeTrader, where traders can get a funded trading account up to $1 million and keep up to 90% of the profits. The program has simple rules, no time limits. Just go to surgetrader.com/TTV and use the promo code TTV for 10% off.
Thank you very much, Adair. The market's bouncing off 15.9 on that number, on that economic number that just came out there. So let's see if we can sustain that. Meta does not hold on to 321.50, so I get out of that one right quick. Google's pulling back, AMD's pulling back. I'm trying to think of like what is bouncing 15.9 if everything I'm looking at is actually pulling back that was strong before. GME doesn't matter, it is going up. AI, it's now got a buyer at 25.50. So I got a reload on this, but I paid underneath 70 for it at 67, and it only gave 20 cents. So if I get a reload again, it's got to be in the 80s. Got to get a much better fill the next time through on C3 AI. GME still hasn't gotten to 15 even. It just wicked 90s and missed me by a couple of pennies. So if we get up in the 80s again, I'll respect. There's sellers at that 90 level, a little bit of size, not much. But if it gets up in the 80s, I should take that one if we can get it. This market is really starting to bounce.
Oh, this is amazing.
And yet, where the heck is Affirm going? Affirm cannot bounce with this market. Affirm is weak today. So, I mean, if I'm not going to get 39s on Affirm and I like the short, the more the market bounces without this stock, the more I look for the short off the pre-market high here on Affirm.
Man, I mean, we're going to go 5 for 5 today. Amazon is now 50 cents in the money. So Neil asked about what something was bouncing. I don't know. We caught Amazon here. Amazon fell down. It was weak there for a minute, but I mean, look at this. Like we bought this. I mean, those are 3 buys, and right now you're ripping up to the upside. So we are now blasting off. I just want to say thank you to everybody, and the best you guys could do is just subscribe.
Like and subscribe today.
Thank you so much, Jameson. I mean, hey, let's just do this right now. Let's do a little bit of a roll call, because if you're here today, man, you guys know what's good. I mean, this is, like I said, I'm just going to let these trades cook right now. Let's say hi to people that are here, man. What's up to Sec Growth? What's up to Jameson? What's up to Kush right now? Good job, Kush. What's up to Jack B? Swizzy is here as well. Tim is here. Pitchbull is here. Plotting Profits. Everybody. Pauly D's in the building. Christopher Mulligan's here. Aspect. What's up? What's up to everybody? Look at Amazon Go. Let's keep this going. What's up to Daryl as well? What's up to Swaggy? What's up to Ziggy? What's up to Ryan? David Beach. DK Metcalf is in the building right now. Gunny Greystone is here. Dad is here. The chat is going way too crazy. Some guy named Sean. I like your name. What's up? Vin is here. Chris is here. Adam Deleuze. Hey, Adam. If you're with me, you're not deluzing. That's for sure. What's up to Bristol? What's up to Andrew? What's up to Chris? What's up to Beatrice? Beer Money is in the building. Everybody is here, man. Just thank you so much. What's up to Diamond Realty of Miami is in the 305. Shout out to 305. Too bad the Heat beat the Raptors last night. But yeah, man, shout out to everybody that's here. You're now rocking with the best. Thank you for finding us. Yeah, I'm going to scalp out some more Amazon because it is what we do around here. We do stuff like this. Drop it down. Hopefully it's coming into your pocket like it is ours. What's up to everybody? I hope you enjoy the excitement, the energy. I'm here all day and I'm here after market as well with another banger of a show today. And then tomorrow it's Podcast Nation as Trader TV Live expands its wings further and further and further. So what's up, man? Best community. Shout out to my guy, Bears vs. Bulls right now. Multiple dollar winners all over the place today. I hope you like this song because you're hearing it a lot lately.
And if you like it, in the time it takes to do that, you can get 10% back and forth on C3 AI.
Boom.
There's what's going on with this stock very, very quickly for anybody that happens to be watching it. There's a buyer at 25.50. There's a seller at 25.85. So in between, and what I was saying, get some out there, get a better price, because if I'm short in front of 70, that's not a good price based on what we're seeing happening. A good price is getting fills close to 80. That's where you want to be selling it and then buying it back when it makes that 25-cent move. So you're getting a nice pocket move here in C3 AI. If it breaks up, obviously, it breaks 26. I think you got to get out. I think this is a squeeze back to the upside like GameStop was. If it breaks 26, I'd be looking long reversal on AI as long as there's buyers above. You've got to be, what's the word? The way you're supposed to say this is it's not just reversing a trade. It's being sort of mentally agile is, I think, the trading way to say it. A key level on GameStop, I shorted it. It was good when I got a good price. It was not when it held a bit above, so I go long above that price. And now you got it to $14.90, and it looks like it's breaking higher. So now I like the longs above $14.35 on GameStop. It's as simple as that. That's the key level. Strong over, go long. Weak under, go short. As long as that's happening, I'm going to stick with that. I thought Chewy would give a similar look, but Chewy is only attempting this breakout here. I still think this can go squeeze zone, but the buyers are not really in control on Chewy above 750 yet. I do think they can. I did take profit on AI. That was this fill in here. I'm only reloading if I see selling again in the 80s. Otherwise, I'm thinking reversal on AI above 26. So I see a wick bottom, and it's trying to make a higher low. The short float's like 20-something or 30-something% on C3 AI. It's down 11%. This could easily be a bit of a squeeze to the upside on C3 AI. And the last one I want to get to you guys is going to be AFRM. We talked about the market pulling back and then bouncing nicely, and a firm couldn't go. So I short the 38 level, and I'm going to give it to the local high, the lower high here at 37.35. It's about 50 cents worth of risk, which is what I wanted to do at the 39 level, but a firm's not trading at 39.
Yeah, AI, definitely a little bit of a difficult trade here today. We just loaded up a little bit there on AMD. Not loaded up, we got some more shares just watching that 121. I feel like it's going to break, but we're still in it. Let's see what happens. Here it goes back up to the upside. We're long right now at 121.26. We just bought a little bit more. I'm waiting in the 30s. Like, if we could just take 15 cents or so on this, that'd be great for the first piece, because it is going to drip down a little bit, and we will. If it does break through, I'm just watching it here. If it does break through 121 flat, we will wind up getting out. So let's just watch out for that one. But honestly, guys, the trade that just sends the net through the moon right now is Amazon. That just immediately, there goes AMD as well. Geez, Wow, what a day, guys, here today, as we just stick with our plan, and it's sometimes it is that easy. Look at AMD, nice move back upside. Let's take a little bit more profit on this name. Okay, AMD, thank you again. That's nice. We just reloaded that thing. Oh my God, what awesome trading it is today. This is now going to go 5 for 5, and honestly, man, let's just keep with the way. I mean, we talked about being bullish today. We talked about, we don't have any short ideas on the sticky note. So this is not a fluke. Like, this is exactly what we'd sort of thought was going to happen. And it's just nice when it works out, because some days it does not. As you know, you guys have watched the show many days, and you know about that, right? And on that note, you guys, we don't show our share size, but that's why we're trying to explain to you our ins and outs every time, so you guys can trade that accordingly with your own risk, right? And so that's to us,
if there's ever
what is the most important.
If there's ever a situation where there's not an out given, then it's not a trade. There's no such thing as a trade without an out. And if you don't have an out, then you haven't made a trade. What you've done is gambled, almost essentially. So there was a question about where did I come up with the level for GME. So I'll go through it. I talked about this in the pre-market show, but the reason I liked 1435 specifically on GameStop was I zoomed out the 15-minute chart. That's it. 1435, and then right at the end of the day, after market, it bounced off 1435. So that's why I like the level. Short underneath, long above. And if it holds it again, I probably go for the reload on GameStop off that level. So I'm willing to take my shots at it. If it flushes from there, I took one out at 14 even, at 30 cents. That's 2%. But I'm holding that move for $1, right? So I'm trying to risk about 25 cents on GameStop for the full move to be $1 for me on GME. Like, I'm going to take some out at 14, I'm going to take some out at 13.50, and then I want it breaking the low of the day on GameStop. Like, that's what I think the potential is. The long, we just talked about it, first out at 15. I want this to get to that 15.40 level, this level here, and I would hold some for 16 even. So GameStop trade with a much wider range. Like, you're willing to take those hits. But the way I look at it, if I'm trading GameStop and AMD, and this again, everyone has to do their own thing. I can sit there. If I lose 4 times on GameStop, I should not lose more than what I made on a stock that's working like AMD. That's just the way I trade. So I never want to have a situation where a stock that doesn't work ends up being worse than a stock that is working. So just to go to AMD, I know Sean's been talking about it too. So AMD bounced off 121. The most simple strategy that I use is previous resistance turning into support. So it was a breakout at 121.50. But then yesterday's dip for a support level. That's where the levels come up. That's where I come up with levels. I'd say almost 80% of the time it's going to be support and resistance. Every now and then I like channels. I'll talk about that when it comes to SoFi, and we can look at something on a daily chart. AMD doesn't really have it. I'll go to SoFi quickly, because if you're coming up with levels a different way, sometimes it's a channel like this on AMD or it's a channel like this on SoFi. That's why I've been bullish on SoFi, because it broke the top of that channel. And I think you have implicit support at that bottom. Meat on a Wheel, great name. Thank you for the super chat. What's wrong with Microsoft other than I'm in? I don't know. It's about price action. If you're guessing at why Microsoft would be weak today, and again, we can make guesses for why you explain relative weakness and price action. Well, Google's up today on AI news, and their competition is Microsoft. So like, that's, if you need an explanation for why it's weak, then I can throw that out there. I'm sure there's talking heads that'll say the same thing. I just think you want to respect the price action for what it is. Let's go to the desk with Adara.
Yeah, Walgreens Boots Alliance been moving to the high side all morning so far, pulling back a little bit now, but still up almost 5% on news that they've expanded their COVID-19 and flu testing and treatment offerings, also announcing that they will have their Q1 2024 financial results to be reported January 4th, 2024.
Good look there. Good look there for Walgreens. That's one of the old Dow names that we don't really pay too much attention to, not going to lie to you. I just got an out in AMD, looking for the curl here. So I got a 38 short on Affirm. If you're wondering where the levels come up with an Affirm, 39 was a failed breakout here, and then you had some support that broke yesterday. Now the pre-market high is holding out. Affirm is a stock that moves dollars again, not cents. So it needs to get to the low of the day, or at least approach it, that 37.50 and break before I get out. Take some profit on it. And as long as the market is strong without this break in the high, I'm going to favor the short. on a firm until it proves otherwise. And it hasn't necessarily done that yet. GameStop, I just got a reload at 60. I'll go back to the 3-minute because you guys don't need to see that 15-minute. That's to find the levels. So I'm looking for a dip buy. I would have loved it if it got to 1440, but there's a wick, holds 14.5. Why does that matter? Because that's where it was stopping out resistance before. So that resistance just turned into support. Buy the next step up at 60s, gets them out in front of 1485 again there. So I'm going to get back on the offer, maybe not all the way to the high, because there were sellers up there at 90, so maybe I'll step into the high 70s, take some out there, and then look to rinse and repeat GameStop to the upside. I don't think it necessarily goes ape, but it doesn't have to. It goes green today, and it takes out the 15 level on GME, and I'm not endorsing the stock. I've never invested in it. I don't necessarily think it's a great investment, but it's kind of squeezing today. And I open looking short underneath 1435. That's not going to work, and then what you do is you join the trend and get back what you can on the stock. Sometimes that's going to flush right away, and other times you're going to have to. Oh, the position board's gone again. So I'm long GameStop, AMD, and short Affirm. Those are the only positions. Okay, there you go. I got a fill there on GameStop with the high, and now it just came back in. Thank you very much.
There we go. Yes, thank you to Rob for the reload of the coffee, and thank you so much for AMD for giving us once again. It's great when you go and grab yourself. Oops, that's John Travolta. You grab yourself some of this, because it's a fruit salad kind of a day one more time here as we go. Hey, man, celebrate your wins. This has been my best day probably of the year. So it is what it is. There it is right now. Let's hit some fruit salad. We've got grape. Yeah, it looks good today.
All saying best day of the year is nice. The fruit.
Yes.
Actually, the fruit salad looks very darn fresh.
Yes. I was going to say, when I saw it, man, you got some pineapples in there.
So the melon's not always fresh.
Yeah, Sharif is liking that one. Maybe too many calories for you, Sharif. You got grapes and whatnot in here. And grape is one of my favorite things for fruit salad. You get the little...
Kiwi.
Kiwi is great.
Kiwi.
This melon is also fantastic. Whatever.
Well, melon, I have a thing about melon. I love cantaloupe. I prefer cantaloupe to melon, and melon needs to be very fresh. It's one of those fruits that, it's when it's good, it's good. When it's not, it's really not. And that's not one of my favorites when it's not.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. For me, that's true of any fruit, man. Honestly, and I don't even throw the even the tomatoes in the salad. If they're just a little bit off, I just chuck those things, man. I have too high quality expectations.
Oh, especially tomatoes.
Okay, so there's AMD, guys. I mean, it's just a reload and it's just a chill. I mean, honestly, reload and chill, right? It's not Netflix and chill, it's reload and chill. If you ever see something fall back in like that, you buy it. We bought it against 121. Remember where our stop was? So for everybody out there, like I said, the reason why I'm here anyways, well, A, is because I love trading and being with everybody here as well. But it's just to show that these trades are possible, right? You can read books, you could do all of that, all you want, right? But unless you put them on, it doesn't make any difference at all. So the thing about it is, I told you guys when we were buying this AMD, right? Neil mentioned it before, as we always do. There's not a trade unless you have an out. This AMD trade right here is 21 cents worth of risk. We're now in the money $1.30. So right there, for those of you that are I'm never going to get 5-to-1 trades, how about this in about 10 minutes, 5-to-1? How about Amazon as well? That's $1 in the money, right? Where were our outs right here? We talked about this as well. There, that goes to the upside. Rivian is not really moving as much. Palantir, something very similar. Our out is 17. We're long at 17.15. The highest it's gotten was 3-to-1, but you can see these tops now. We're pretty comfortable in this position. So as you can see, man, today has been an absolutely fantastic day. Like I said, the reason why this is the best day of the year for me is because I'm going 5 for 5, and it's just when the ideas work, this is what you want to have happen. I've lost one time, and Neil said something about on Intel. I was like, oh man, I can't believe how much money I lost on Intel. But that was the idea, is I wanted to go long or short, whatever it was, and it just went against me. And then you'll lose on those days, right? And the idea is and that's why I talked to Brankos and Wayne back there just now, and that is that the idea is you want to have your maximum, not a maximum, but you want to have a decent amount of shares on board for pretty much all the ideas that you like, so that when they work, you have great days. And then when they don't work, you're not going to have great days. And then you reassess. And that goes to the point of journaling. Why didn't it work? Right? Yesterday we talked about, why am I going long or short Disney when it was up in the market. Remember we had that little discussion there in the on the afternoon show. So, you know, changing it up again here today, playing long on all strong names. AMD, right? Google, Palantir, Rivian, all pretty strong names. Rivian dipped down. Like I said, I don't know why, and we took advantage of that. But all the other names pretty good here today. No shorts for the bad guy. And we are staying away from GME and AI because, again, for our trading style, we've been losing on names when we play them on their reports. So we're going to wait away from that. And again, more stuff. And thanks, Greystone. Easy wins. But today was easy. Not every day, guys. Not every day.
Well, I think I never classify anything as easy in trading. I think sometimes what will happen is your best setups will work, right? So if your best setups work, that's what it means for something to be easy. But it starts with having those setups in there. And the thing about the squeeze plays, what I love about them is the good thing about C3AI, I can lose 7 times, well, maybe more like 4 or 5 times on C3AI and be down less on it than I am up on AMD. That's what I like about that stock. And then if I know if the long comes into play over 26, you need 1 long from 26 to 27 to make it back. And so that's what's appealing about that stock. It's like GameStop. Like if GameStop, I'm not saying it gets to 16. Quite frankly, at this point, the way it's reacting at 15, it might not get to $16 today. But if it breaks 15, there's a lot of ways for this to work all the way up to 16 even, and then it gives you that opportunity to get back in. You're not going to necessarily see that from every single stock out there in the market. So at this point, if we take out the highs, I have 2 longs in. I still would love to get involved in Alphabet. I almost just said Google there. Oh, I can cancel that. So sometimes this is just how it is on Alphabet. I like to dip buy. The dip came to 134.70. I'm sitting there at 22 because, you know, I generally like to put. I don't want to bid at 134.01, but it didn't pick me up there on Alphabet on that dip.
Look at Rivian.
Now it's really starting to come back in. You broke in VWAP, and it's up 5%, but you broke in VWAP and you're falling. The first level I look to once you break VWAP is where did it break out? 135.40 was the pre-market high when this thing opened up. So if I look for a bounce on Google, it should be at that level. And here comes GME 15. I need this to break. If buyers show above 15, I don't mind adding above 15 on GameStop because I think there's room to 16 bucks. Adara and the small cap recap.
Some interesting small cap movers today, including Save Foods, SVFD is the ticker for this one. This one did hold earlier up almost 200%, about 180% right now, after basically saying they're going to highlight the targeting of U.S. carbon credit after acquiring a different company. So yeah, lots going on here. Very strong on the day. We also have Semtech. This one reported a Q3 EPS beat, but a revenue miss here, up just over 20%. Last but not least, this is a very interesting story here. Satellogic, SATL is the ticker for this one, signing a multi-million-dollar 3+ year agreement with UZMA here to advance geospatial capabilities in Southeast Asia. So keep an eye on all these names heading into the rest of the day, guys.
We find some.
That was pretty good fruit salad. We still got a little bit here, but we're just relaxing. Like I honestly, man, like look what's happening to Rivian. Holy crap! As if we just did this again. All right, Google's trying to go back off of 136 and change. Let's get a piece out here at 58 as it continues to go upside. We just bought a little bit there at 40 as it rips through now. Another 20-cent winner. Like I said, when you're on one, you're on one. And right now we on one. So there it goes. Nice little move back up there to the upside here for Google. Let's go, man. We're waiting at 70s. Okay, we'll take that again, man. Okay, let's go. There it is. Oh my gosh. If this is not a face slapper here today, guys, I don't know what is. As now we're gonna go. Actually, now we're still okay. We're still 5 for 5. We've already been into Google. Look at that. Like we just bought this thing again. Look at the AMD rebuy. Like, come on. Like, this has been a good day. Rivian, I was not expecting. Palantir is actually the one not moving. Let me get out a little bit more on Palantir. As Amazon is now $1 and change in the money right now, as we'll take that Lambo through right now. Max, can I get a lift? There it goes, man. Nicely done to the upside. And today we can pay for gas in the Lambo. PLTR as we go on here. Let's just get a piece out at 45 if we can do that. There it goes. Did we get that piece? Oops, sorry, that's not Palantir, my bad. Did it fill me there? Yes, it did. So there it is. We got 45 there out on Palantir. And like I said, I was not joking about this being the best day. And we just added to it there with Google as well. So far, so good, man, on the day. And we're going to go 5 for 5, 10:30 incoming right now. And good day. Play the strong names. And that's what we've been doing right now here again. Coinbase, BTC going a little bit. BTC is back to 43.7 right now, and you can see sort of the movement here in Coinbase. So let's have a quick look at BTC here. This is the 1 minute chart. I'm gonna have to find a better source for this, but it doesn't really matter.
I find TradingViews actually quite good, and this is not to give. I'm not sitting here saying we don't have a deal with TradingView. It's just it was suggested to me by viewers, and now I use them for my Bitcoin chart. I just found them pretty reliable. So
yeah, no, it's all good.
Take it for what it's worth. But I found it pretty good. Just a quick move here. I was gonna if I don't add at 15 and get an average price of 84 on GME, I'd probably be stopping out on a fail break here at 80s. So now that it doesn't matter that that's essentially a break-even stop, but on that move to 15, there was one failure with the bottom at 88. Well, underneath 85 is where I would trail it up. Regardless of whether I add or not, I'm going to trail it there. It just so happens that based on the re-entry in the top, that it'll be a break-even trade because I have some shares left from 14.6. So if GameStop holds on to this 85, then I think this trade works to the 50 level, and then maybe we get 16 even as well. Otherwise, I'm out here and looking for a retest of VWAP on that name. You just mentioned Coinbase.
Yeah.
You know what? Realistically, Coinbase, sometimes it is what it is. The plan of action on Coinbase was either to wait for I said 122 is a big level, and then wait and see at 135. The problem with, let's see what it does at 135, is you had to be all over this and watching that. I didn't have a level 2 dedicated to the stock, so I wasn't watching it at 135. So that was a good inflection point, and it eventually showed you a reason to trade it, both originally short and then flipping long off support. So now that it's established, if it dips back down to 135, of course I like it. Why not? That's the level I liked if it established itself, and you can clearly see it's established a bid and some buyers at 135. AMD's still going. GameStop is still threatening 15 even. And, oh yeah, we haven't talked about Tesla, at least in a while. Tesla made a bit of a recovery. It's now failing the pre-market low. That's 240, the pre-market low-ish, that level on Tesla. So I'd watch out for some of the EV names because that was a pretty big charge up. If we don't take 16,000, Tesla could be one that could give you a bit of a pullback. It's still lower highs on this name.
Yeah, bouncing off 16,000, good look on that one for sure. All right, so we are to half of our reload on Google already. I'm not getting nervous about that 16,000. I just think it's something that you want to look out for there.
AMD's at the top too.
Yeah, they're all AMD's at the top. Okay.
Well, ish.
That's
it's like 20 cents away.
Yeah, that's another good trade there for me on AMD and for both of us, as AMD continues to be a strong name here today. All right, I'm just going to basically. I'm going to sit in AMD. Like, we don't have anything left on a lot of these trades. We basically don't have anything left anywhere now as we continue to go. So the most amount of shares that we have is on Google right now, and it's just waiting to see if it wants to go. Like, if it breaks 16,000, we know that we like this name breaking through 138 at some point, so let's hold on to that one. Rivian, we've been getting it out. We took some more out right here. It's too bad that it really didn't go early enough there. And then Palantir, we have a very, very small piece left as we just got out at the high. So there's not much else I can say about Palantir. When you have the low of the day, like, look at this print on there as if we made this up. 17.15, or what am I long? 16s? 17.16. And you guys heard me. Hopefully, I was like, I'm just punching this long. And we did that down there, and it was able to pay dirt. So that's it is. Nice little trade there for us, obviously, on PLTR. And now we'll just wait to see where we can go from there. We have the bottom and we have the top. I'm going to wait.
You should explain something for Palantir, because I think one of those, we talk about this all the time in front of a level like that. Yeah. And you'll see us do this. Sometimes you get hit, sometimes you don't. Like, I missed it, but you're not waiting for 1701 on Palantir. I'm not speaking for, but I know this is true. You're not waiting for 17 to get the 17 long. You're looking for that bounce play, whether it's 25% at 15 and then you're going to take more at 8. Like, that's a position where we'll do with Neo. Those kind of stocks are very liquid. You're looking for that bounce zone. And if it's a big level like 17 yesterday, which was basically a Cathy Wood bottom, let's just explain this fully, because this is what happened to Palantir yesterday at 17. It got to 05. Within 5 minutes, it was at 1750. So when you see a level like that, I can cancel my bid now. I don't need it. I'm not going to. If I get it now, it's a different story. So when you see that bounce into potential support, you want to get something in front of it if you're a scalp trader. So that's what Sean means. And I know sometimes we'll go fast. The market's moving fast at 8:30. But that's the kind of level when you go dip buy hunting, you are looking to get something in front of the level without waiting for 1701. Because truthfully, sometimes if you get 1701, the second time it bounces off a level, it's not good the second time. You don't want it. So AMD is now breaking the high of the day. It's still going. This has room to 125 even, although just to reiterate, I don't think I am holding to 125. So see this chop zone, 124 to 124, kind of 80. That's where I'd be looking. Whoops, that's too far. That's where I'd be looking to cover. Like somewhere in this range is where I'm looking to cover on weakness in AMD. GME still trying to go. And plug power I just got into, which I should explain. $4 on plug. That's it. There's not really much else to say. I'm short at 96. I should have gotten on the offer at 98, but I didn't have my order on auto cancel, on do not auto cancel, so my 98 canceled when my 96 filled. That's just some housekeeping for myself, but I'll get back on the offer. I want an average price of 97 or 97.5 if $4 were to break on plug. Again, this is a consolidation short looking for it to flat bottom break here on plug, which is not doing well. Not telling you something you don't know.
Oh man, I don't know what to trade anymore, honestly, guys. Google's 50 cents in right now. We just took some more pieces out here at 137. I mean, that's been a great trade. Okay, talk about a rigged question right here. Let me find out what this is going to be for me here.
But everyone's going to put the same
What
thing.
is your favorite market to trade? So financials, healthcare.
No one's going to say health.
Let me check my net. Let me check what I'm trading here today. AMD, Amazon, Google, Palantir, Rivian. So maybe if there was a EV space right here, we're gonna go with technology. Right there. So you guys report this poll? No, we'll close it. Right now, there it is right now. We can look at Chewy, yeah. I mean, I'll look at other names for everybody. I mean, like I said, right now, I'm just in cruise mode. I'm probably just gonna hold these the rest of the day. AMD is now $3 or $2.50 in the money, and that's off of a reload. Like, you wanna talk about, again, anyways, all right, that's Amazon, also $1.50 in the money, right back up to day's high. This could be something that maybe we get out of as well. Google, I mean, what a reload was that one, as Travolta's like, who the hell is this guy? And then Palantir as well. That's doing
small caps on that list.
Yeah, small caps would have been good. Yeah, I mean, people would have selected that for sure.
Because I think I don't think anyone's choosing anything but financials from that group, because no one really trades healthcare.
I mean, here are the stats. So we got
Yeah, there you go.
financials, healthcare, and retail. I think retail could have won a little bit there if you would have thought about maybe discretionary, like a Tesla, like a Rivian, things like that. So, you know, we'll wait to see.
Yeah, Tesla makes sense.
No matter what you guys trade, you definitely want to make sure that you celebrate with hot dog cannons.
I think Tesla's a tech company, though.
Yeah, of course it's a tech company, but it could also be. I think it's in a lot of retail ETFs.
It is. Yeah, that's where the ETFs are.
And there we go now. Make sure you do hit the like and the subscribe. It's 10:30. It's crypto time.
Lots of interesting updates with crypto coming late yesterday, including Grayscale CEO basically saying that he's feeling more optimistic regarding the spot Bitcoin ETF after some conversations with the SEC. Also worth noting, this came midday yesterday with Jamie Dimon saying during a meeting here that he would basically shut down crypto if he had a government role. So just kind of interesting food for thought there with regards to crypto and regulation with both Jamie Dimon and the Grayscale news. In terms of Bitcoin itself, just a little bit lower today, but definitely still strong, not losing too much of the gains we've had over the past couple days. Yeah, so Bitcoin just below that 44,000 area, around that 43,900. Ethereum very strong though, up about almost 3%, up over that 2,300 area. The rest of the cryptocurrencies pretty mixed, usually just a little bit higher or lower. Nothing really crazy move. Dogecoin though down about 4.5% right now, guys.
Yeah, so we just wicked 16,000 on the NASDAQ there. So it's not to say that, I'm not saying the market's going to fall, but it's obviously a good psychological level. We've broken that level many times in the last couple of days. It's just, at this point, it's almost just a round number. but you respect these big psychological levels, especially when the market has been running into it. So I don't know if we're breaking out until we take out like 30s and 40s above it, and then the longs look even better if we start doing that. But like I said, that hasn't really happened just yet. I already have a trail on AMD based on all of that. You can look at StockXL is probably good to watch as well if you're watching AMD. But once it got through here, 123.5. I'm trailing at 40s here, so not exactly at 123.5, but I do look at that, like that last little shelf. If we don't hold on to this, then I'm going to jump out of this. And it doesn't really matter. Generally speaking, when I put a trailing stop in, it's not an actual trailing stop. I'm putting a sell order if it breaks some kind of a big level. Like I'm not saying 10% pullback or 20% or 20 cent pullback. None of that. I just kind of use levels when I'm putting a trailing stop in. Like I wanted to hold it to get into here. Now that it's gotten here, we're at a key level in the futures. We get back under 124.60. You'll see me get out of AMD. And again, it might be a bad idea, but I always have a target when I'm trading these. So plug, I'm on the offer at 98. I'm not covering anything unless it's literally at the low of the day, which sits at 89. So my first bid is going to be at 90s on plug, and then the next one's probably going to be looking at this wick bottom, that's 80. So like 81 or 82 on plug power. Not all things are strong today. And if you're looking for relative weakness, look no further than this EV name and one that I almost forgot about, Nikola. Nikola with the offering, it's not doing a heck of a lot on Nikola. I said I wanted 92 short if it popped. Nikola got to 86. So I paid for locates. I might have paid for locates for nothing, unless this sets up a short for me.
We just posted up on Twitter there. We are now out, as y'all can see, out of Amazon. I mean, it just came right back into the daily high there. So we'll take $1.50 on it and ring the register. Make sure you do follow me at TraderTV Sean, because I'm posting the trades before I have them. That's where you can find the sticky note as well. And there's the out on Amazon. You can see live right here, right now. I'm debating similar outs now as we're still at 16,000. And again, like, all of these outs, they all have reasons, man. Like there's VWAP, there's the 50 period, and then hold some for the dream. We talked about trying to get better at doing things like that, and that's exactly what we do here. We're gonna be at the highest spot all day. We don't have a losing trade on today, which is pretty incredible. We have 69 fills today so far. The next one will be number 70, and that's gonna be coming hopefully in and around Rivian. What the heck? What do I have marked there as? That's funny. I have something marked as a axe. I don't know. Was there NYSE just showing up there on Rivian? What is that?
What is that?
Why do I have that axe marked right there? It might be NYSE. This is strange. I haven't changed this. I haven't changed this in forever.
I'm looking at my level too. I don't see any.
Underneath EXB, what is this?
IEX. Oh, I know why. Because we don't. It's IEX.
Yeah, I know, but why? Yeah, I know, but it shouldn't be like
No,
that.
I think it's because we can't hit
before.
IEX anymore. That's why. So you might have.
I don't want it blacked out though. I don't have
I
it.
want it not to display usually, but
Oh,
I have it to display. It is IEX for sure.
okay.
IEX is just, it's a gateway.
Yeah.
the market for
Okay,
you.
well, whatever. I'm not going to deal with this now. I'll deal with it after. But there we go. Thank you for that one, Neil, confirming what gateway that is, and I'll try to figure it out.
Actually-
but I was just, the only thing that I thought was under a bit of concern was Rivian, and it's not really. It's just there. I got to get rid of that. That's going to bug me. And again, it just goes to like your trading setup, you know, like if you see something different, even though like I'm in all these winners, this has no effect on my trading, but now I'm getting pissed off that I see this black mark there. So, okay, we'll get that all figured out. Things are starting to pull back, but Google there as we break through 16,000. We got out of Amazon because I was just like, we're at the top. This doesn't, although catalysts are there for all of these names, but Amazon was not on my sticky note. So it wasn't something that I was initially looking at. Really glad that we were able to hit that for the long, fine. But again, not a name for me that we were going with. So that's what we're doing. Other than that, man, maybe some new names. Is Snapchat doing anything? That's been recent high for. Okay, so pulling back off of 15 here. Snapchat, are they down today? Yeah, well, no. But 1450, wow, okay. So here comes Snapchat. So again, a name that's not super strong. This could be a fade right now on Snapchat. Wow, AMD, guys, is $3 in the money and at 124 right now. Like, this name is really, really hot. Like, this is all the way up. It's took out all of this and all the way back now for AMD. Like, boom, right back up. Wow. This is great. All right, this is, again, not like it's lost for words. I just don't know where to get out on some of these trades, and I feel like we want to hold them because we're just broke 16,000 now. I mean, there is more upside. So NVIDIA, we didn't look at that today.
It's not having a bad day at all.
I was going to say, AMD's up 6.
Well, I mean, for trading, I would say.
Wow, AMD up 6%.
Oh, you just pulled away from the chart. NVIDIA chart. There, it's breaking.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, breaking.
But it's not.
Everything, I guess, will be breaking.
It's not moving as far. Oh, I moved my trail on AMD just very quickly from here to here. It just wicked 124, so that's in the chop zone. I said I was likely to get trailed out of AMD up here, so that's going to be my out. It's a clean breakout trade off of this level, but then the dip buy goes into the previous day support at 121. So if you're looking at why trade those levels, and then there was one trade on a VWAP bounce right in here on AMD. So I went for a VWAP trade. That ends up being, okay, it wasn't bad. It did make money because it went 50 cents and then I had a tight stop. But the better trades have been off the bigger levels on AMD. But I'm out of it. It was a trade to hold. Oh, GameStop, that's the other thing. GameStop just took out the high of the day as well. So I loaded back in at 15. It just took out the high and got to the quarters. I have another offer in front of here in the aftermarket. Like, it basically resisted 1540. So I have an offer 1540. If it breaks that out, I want to go to 16 on GME. So oddly enough, I am now only in GameStop and Plug Power, which if the market's breaking higher, it's usually good to be short something that's not going up. And that's what I see with Plug. So Plug, it's trying to go, it's failing. If this market pulls back, I do like this one. 2 cents south side. Tesla now starting to make a breakout. Tesla, 241 Tesla.
Oh, man. We'll ring the register. You guys can see we are now out of AMD. Well spotted for AMD up there at 124. Wow. Again, the sticky no long of 121 was reloaded multiple times. So there it is, another big win there. And it is now sector watch with the Dara.
Not too much on the board that's red right now. We have some sectors that are really green, others that are a bit more mixed, but definitely to the downside for the most part for health technology here. Eli Lilly and Johnson & Johnson leading the way. In terms of strength, AI has definitely been the name of the day. We have Google up right now in the technology services sector with news of the Gemini AI, Meta up on the Purple Llama, which is basically for AI development and safety, and then also AMD really strong on its new AI chip as well. A lot of these other semiconductor names, including NVIDIA, Broadcom trying to gain off of that as well. So definitely chips, everything in that AI world is the main thing moving to the upside right now. Also some strength in consumer services after that Morgan Stanley conference has been going on for the last couple of days with regards to retail and consumer services. We also have a lot of strength in finance as well. Keep an eye on all these sectors. Energy also really strong, guys.
Wow, Chewy. So Chewy, look, the thing about looking at a stock's percentage from the previous close is it's a very deceiving number. Chewy's down 3.8%, but does that look like a weak stock today? It's not. So I'll show you my quote board in a second and why I have it that way. But I have a column that's the market of the stock from the previous close, but also a column that's a stock from the open. So you get an idea of what a strong looks. Well, I can look at my quote board and see if the stock is strong on the day as opposed to just looking at the previous close. So Chewy just got into resistance. I said I might sit this one out if it didn't break the bottom until it gets to resistance levels. Well, there you go. Yesterday, this stock, literally yesterday, this was breaking out at 1880. And it just showed you 1880 as a resistance level. Like, where do the levels come from? Okay, it's a breakout at that price yesterday. If it squeezes to that level, I'll look for any sign of weakness at that price where there was selling, and then an inflection point, and then get into the short. That's about 20 cents worth of risk, not exactly, but close enough to it. If it gets back down in, $18 would be the target here. But I'm getting out in front of that 18. Like, I'm not waiting for it to get all the way to 18. I'm going to pop a bit at 1-to-1, and then I look for it to get all the way down to that 18 even. Chewy in a bit of a squeeze to the upside. Impressive run for Chewy up here. Again, the quarter doesn't really matter. They have a short float too. I don't know exactly what it is. 17%. I actually wrote it down on my iPad. Oh, and thank you, Dan McIsaac, for pointing this out, and I forgot to mention this. We talked about journaling yesterday and how I do a lot of trade review mentally. as opposed to doing it in only one way, like writing it down. I do keep notes on my iPad and review the levels. So I do write some of this stuff down. Like I'll write notes like, this is an area to look short. If it holds above this, I'll put short float so I know what it is off the top of my head, or don't know it off the top of my head and can look down at it. Or little notes. Like I might put in the price of 3 trillion market cap on Apple, just so if it gets there, I know what it's going to be on the old iPad. So I do use that and write some things down. All the levels I'm watching for the week will be in there. Like I have NEO 750, and I'm wondering why I'm not trading NEO. It's not there just yet. But that was from yesterday. I had NEO 750 support yesterday, and it looks like we're trying to make a bottom. So now that I just noticed that, it might be worth looking at it. It's at 60 right now with a 55 double bottom. And when I see that, it doesn't mean I'm waiting for 50. It's bouncing at 55. If it bounces a third time, I might take a long at 60 with a stop at 55. And then if it gets to 50, I make a second trade instead of just holding one twice as much against me.
All right. Yeah, good. And then that's what we're doing on the show, man. Just trying to, understand what our maybe our ideas are and what we're looking at. So again, would rather sort of teach you guys how to fish than simply throw you that nice fresh salmon. Okay, so this is coming up to the highs here for Rivian, and so another potential teaching moment. We're at the 200 period moving average. We've already hit this. We've already hit it. I mean, we absolutely nailed this one. I mean, a lot of them today are working out well. And like I said, man, I'll maybe put something out on Twitter later, but this has been, my best day, like I was already saying, of the year, going 5 for 5 with all ideas that really I don't even know where my sticky note is anymore, that we shared with you guys early, right? And to me, that's what matters. I mean, obviously it matters to be right and to make a little bit of money every once in a while as the bills keep piling up, especially these days. But
On the Buffalo Bills.
No, you don't. The good thing about the Bills, Neil, is you don't have to worry about the Buffalo ones but although we still have that bet, there still is more to come.
At least I have something to look forward to.
That's what I'm saying, right? And it's like, and I kind of look at the same way. The Green Bay Packers, the youngest team in the NFL, now in the playoffs. Yeah, 25.7 years old. And it's a Jordan Love era, so that's all good. And then it's also, AMD is.
I also like Reed.
AMD, yeah, Reed is. I mean, I like Christian Watson. He's not dependable enough, but he has like 5 or 6 20 fantasy point games a year. You just got to have him in your lineup when he does. All right, which I did last week, which is pretty good. Right now, which I avoided Butlership, thank God. There it is, 124. So we got out of AMD. Like I said, it's going to be my number 1 name today, and most of it is because of that reload. Everything else has been really working out. We got out of Amazon there. Like, I don't feel bad about doing any of this. Getting out of any of these. My net is still ripping right now, as Google, Palantir, and Rivian all still right there. It's just a matter of having to clear out of some of your trades. You're gonna have to find levels. You go back and forth all the time with this, right? And some of us today, and again, you can, I mean, I already told you we're 5 for 5. I was gonna say you can ask me if we're green or red on any of these names, but I'll look at other names. It's not that we're just sitting here. We just saw the close of that poll. I prefer tech stocks, so instantly my mind goes I'm looking for something else to trade, so I just call up which was been the number 1 stock here. We talked about that on the show. Was going to be Microsoft, not today, but right there, 370. It's weak today, right? And so I'm not going to trade this to the long side because right now you're down 0.12 against a very, very strong market today. So Microsoft, there's reasons why today not on my radar. It's just, it doesn't jive with the move in the market.
Well,
right?
Google had the positive news today.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? And so it's
Alphabet.
If you look here, and again, I'm just going to keep showing it because, it's what I do. This is why we put out every day this sticky note, honestly. Rivian. So the only name I didn't look at was Uber. I didn't even look at it, which I should do right now. Rivian, Google, like Neil just said, AMD, Palantir. They're all right here. They're all in the pocket, and they're all well traded. And that's all that it takes, right? Is find your levels and understand which way you want to go with it. Sometimes the levels don't come into play, and then you got to find other levels. Where am I looking for this trade?
What do you got?
And so right now, we're just gonna sit down and relax even more. Crypto, Bitcoin is starting to go a little bit again here. Nice move up for BTC since we started the day. I mean, this is 10 o'clock. So this is gonna be every hour, the different colors here. So since 10 o'clock, we're up about 300 bucks trying to go. We bounced off 43,250. We've talked about key levels there on BTC every 2,500. So I still think 44,000 is a chance. And then you could trade, as Raheem was mentioning today. I still think you want to trade GBTC. There's a lot of opportunity in this name as well. You know, the levels are pretty good. You can see a nice little move up since 10 o'clock as well on this name, but
125, no size.
On AMD?
Well, I mean, nothing
I
else.
can't believe I'm out of that name.
I should have said AMD first. That's
No, I knew exactly what you meant.
Oh,
wow, there is size there, isn't there?
Never mind. I was look, it was trading at like 80s or something, and I didn't see the size of my book. No, there's a ton of size.
Broke.
It just broke.
I tried the small shorted.
Oh, you son of a.
Why am I not still long this name? But whatever. I just talked about having.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you gonna do about it?
This is the thing, and.
Wow. Big positive name.
Obviously, it's never gonna look good when you get out like that. But you have a plan. You gotta take it. You're not gonna get. You're never gonna hold the entire move every single time. That's near impossible to do. Sometimes a level like this, it pulls back into VWAP, and sometimes it goes higher. But when you look at this, it was a consolidation level, so a decision needed to be made there. It could have been go back into the long when it broke out, but I think it was a decision-making price. You take profit, and AMD is an absolute rocket ship. I don't know what else to tell you. So, you know, obviously this was the right stock to be trading. You want to trade the stocks that are in play. There's no question about this. And AMD continues to be ridiculous to the upside. Just very quickly, I want to get back to GME because I'm seeing some signs of, I don't want to say it's stalling out, but I just talked about a decision-making point. So what I'm going to do is, I just saw it wick this high. I'm getting out 40s again. I just took another leg out at 40. Now this cannot turn red. So about 15 minutes ago, well, actually closer to a half an hour ago, because I just heard that it's Money Talks, GameStop, one short, another short, stop out, high a day, stop out, high a day, stop out, reversal. The thing about GameStop is when it held at 1435, you know it can reverse and give you everything back. Right, but you've got to be able to be mentally nimble, or whatever the heck I said last time when I was talking about this. I think it was nimble.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Whatever. Agile, mentally agile.
Agile, I like that one.
But it was a reversal play. It's a squeeze stock. Squeeze stocks mean you reverse them when you get a chance off a big level. And it did get to 15.5. So if I don't reverse it, you could be fighting the short all day long and just losing on it, or you can reverse and go back into the long and then just try to make it back. So obviously GameStop did make the move. I want to still hold a piece for 16, but a small piece. At this point, I'm seeing some sellers start to come in. Chewy is still, it's still in the pocket. If this wasn't a squeeze name, I might think about adding to this short after it just rejected the high, but no. No, it's still a squeeze name. I want to give it the respect that it's due by not adding to that position just because it had the same resistance. There was no size up there or anything like that. The Viking Nomad, first of all, that's a great name. But B, I haven't looked at DraftKings today. You're saying DraftKings is flushing? Any stock that is weak as the market is breaking out, I think you want to look at, because relative strength and weakness at this time of day, getting into 11 o'clock, is important. But this isn't flushing, but it's still relatively weak. I wouldn't say the stock is flushing. What I would say is it's red when the market is looking great, and it's been a bit in the midst of a bit of a pullback. The question is a setup? There is a bit of a short setting up. This is hard to see, but that's about 35.80, and we close at 36. So I think, it's setting up right now for about a short into the 36 level. If we don't hold 16,000, shout out to you, the Viking Nomad. You found a weak stock right at 16,000 on the NASDAQ. If we pull back from here, I do like this, but I want 80s. That's what's setting up, an 80 short with a 36 stop. That's a great look, actually.
We have to go over to Adair in a second, but I just want to say that we are out.
We do?
Yeah, I think, don't we have Money Talks? We didn't do that yet, I don't think. Okay, so we just got out of Google.
That's my bad.
So right there, it's 50 cents. It's another one. We're getting very, very light, man. We also got out of Palantir. I'm just reviewing everything now because I'm almost done, man, and we got to go over to the midday. Before I throw to Adair, what topic you got today? Speed it up. They can't hear you.
Dial on.
Okay, so something about psychological stuff. All right, back over there to Adara at the desk.
USD taking a bit of a turn to the downside here. Here's the daily on the DXY. This is amid a week with lots of jobs related data. We had JOLTS data at its lowest since March 2021. That came on Tuesday. We also do have tomorrow morning coming up the non-farm payroll, so definitely keep an eye on those with regards to what the USD will do next. Also of note, the yen actually having its 3-month peak and actually had its strongest one-day rally in over a year on news that the BOJ governor, Bank of Japan governor, basically discussing strong changes for their economic climate, saying there's going to be potential pivot from negative interest rates. That really boosted up the yen and the dollar very much to the downside. So here's the yen over the dollar. As we can see, giant surge up here for the JPY, guys.
Or as most people would look at it, some weakness coming in the dollar. Unless, hey man, if you're into that. You're into that trade, then fair enough. AMD, okay, so it's still going. That's the first thing. I don't like that one. Hold on a second. That's the better one. When the market's up, you want something that really grabs your attention. AMD is at a monster level. Now, back to the 29th. This is 125.70 on my 15-minute chart. I'm not saying it's a short, but this is the top of the line. It's not just one level on the daily. This is twice that it's gotten to this price and reversed in the last half year. So actually, no, check that. That's August, so the last quarter. So 125.70. If it's going to turn around, I like that level. We just talked about the Viking Nomad and DraftKings. I still want something tighter to 36 or VWAP if I can get it. You know what? That's not a good entry point. That was a good scalp entry point at the moment it was said. I think I got to be more patient with that and maybe look for VWAP here, Viking Nomad. But I like the look of DraftKings. It's about being patient for an entry point. GameStop going to hold on to it. Chewy's not really giving me any reason to cover just yet. It's still trying to hold this. I'm not adding to it. I'm not adjusting anything. I'm just going to hold on to this. Either it gives me the 40 and then 18s, or it breaks out from here. So Chewy has been a bit of a squeeze, waited for the top, and now we're just going to be patient with this position on Chewy. Plug, it's still at that $4 level. It's actually at 98, and I'm short at 97. And then the last one we're talking about, well, we've talked about it. I don't think it's been traded today. Tesla.
Right. Yeah.
You know, Tesla hasn't, the market's at 16,000. Tesla hasn't broken out the high of the day. I don't want to be short Tesla when it's up 1%, generally speaking. And it's not at a huge level, but 243 is a good level on Tesla. I think if it were to creep $1 higher, 43 would be reasonable for a short. It works both ways. I think you could break it out at 243 on TSLA. Aldrin saying Lucid breaking out. Aldrin in the chat. I like Lucid the same way it's, I think I was talking about PSNY and some of these others. If this can actually take out this consolidation and hold above the 50 period, I think this is a stock that can squeeze. It's got a huge short interest like a lot of these EV names. It just has not been able to close above the 50 period. So if this can break, oh, that's a ways away. This is like 486. I thought it was like 475. You're still 30 cents away on Lucid from breaking out. But you can stair step it from 450. I think I'd look for a scalp long off 450, give it to 45, and then work it into the high of the day as opposed to trying to take a breakout. If it gets to 470, I'd rather play off the 50 level at this point. Good look though.
So we always say, you know, that I know because we have so many ins and so many outs, it's often hard to figure out if we're green or red on a name. And we talked about, you can ask us that in the chat. That's fine. And then also, this is something that you've made hit something on the head here. Kubismo here says, I would pay to see my positions during the midday show. So we are actually working on that, where we are going to have a potential second stream. But as far as I know, it is not going to be a pay situation. You're going to get it for free 99 right there. So you're going to get that. You're going to be able to see myself and Neil trade, like I said, all day. And you're going to be able to see our positions. I just have to work on contract negotiations for that. So, okay, by the way, good out for Google there. And the market is making a move down. But this is what we said. Look, you can hold things for the moon. I like the moon. The moon is great. And we've been there a couple times today. But the thing about it is you got to get out, right? Look at this. Sometimes just by getting out saves you. It's like, you know, I just made 30 cents on Google. Why? Because we got, like, I'm flat and I made money. How's that possible? It's because you got out right there. And now, as we fall back in, I'm not holding something where I could have cashed out 25 cents ago. But that works in the opposite ways as well, right? It works in the same ways with AMD. As we get out at 124, it hits our target up there, 124, we get out, and then it just absolutely mercs up to 125.50, right? And so sometimes you say, wow, we got out, but then all of a sudden, boom, down there at 125.50. But sometimes you make the right call and you wind up saving yourself from eventual disaster. Rivian right now bouncing up again, man. What a great day it's been, like I said. We're gonna end the day at the highest spot for ourselves as we just cash out of everything. So we did have one losing trade only, and it's on my number one name today, and it was 10 cents. So we shorted right there. I don't even know, I'll have to find out the hit that we got. Let me tell you exactly what it was, because it's the last trade. It was 7 cents. So we shorted 97s, out 05s, 8 cent worth of a hit, add some fees, about 9 cents worth of a hit on that last AMD take right there. So, hey guys, thanks again for watching. It's the 5 stages of trading psychology is what's coming through. Thank you to Sharif for blasting that one off. And we did have, oh my God, here we go. I will. Here it is right here. So we're going to be doing this. How old would you say this was? Anyways, this is how to overcome fear in trading. Expert advice. So I don't know why I'm here, but you know, that's what they're going to be talking about later on. And join Sharif and Adara for all your trading psychology
Spoiler alert.
needs. Very much a spoiler alert.
Have a plan.
Have a plan. I mean, that's honestly.
That's just generally speaking going to be most of the things. But it's the specific types of plans you can have for each issue.
Tesla's at the high of the day, by the way.
So speaking of highs of the day, we talked about 125.70 just to leave you guys, because you'll see me just get into AMD, which I know was a rocket ship, but I'm short off that high of the day. I'll take shots. 125.70 is technically the top there, but I'll short this current market high, risking about 15 pennies on AMD, plus a little bit of slippage. There was a question about this CERE therapeutic company. It's being bought by AbbVie for 45 cash. Not moving. So it's a buyout. Look at this thing. It's it's not a gap and go kind of deal. This stock, if it gets above 42.50, I'd short it because of the way the last AbbVie buy held. It could not get within 5% of the deal price. So I would suspect the same thing. But that's just a quick answer for you. Sometimes the stock is gapping up and there's not a trade. It's being bought for cash. It's a very specific style of trade there. So I was just in and out for 15 cents on AMD, but that could be a wick out. I want to take some shots at this, 125.70, but I'm not willing to risk like $1 shorting AMD today. It's up 7%, way too strong for that. Oh, it's 11 o'clock already.
Yeah, it's wow, what an insane day, man. Tesla's going out right now. I may have to.
Did it break 43 yet?
Yeah, it's right there right now. I may just have to, like, I don't know if we're going to sell some of our own positions today or not, but this market is really, really hot and starting to get to the upside there. Trying to take out 16,000 as we hover around. All right, without any further ado, thank you so much for watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. It's time for some fear and loathing in trading psychology with Sharif and Adara. Ciao, guys.
Oh, that's Sean, my bad. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to Learn How to Trade.